Should be all set and going now. Hey there, everybody. How y'all doing?
Good.
Nice. It's been a hot second since we've been in here, but last time we were here, some shit went down. Some sides were chosen, and a boss was defeated. Anyone want to give me a little bit of a recap on what happened here?
Not it.
Luna.
Got it.
Oh.
Well, Cade said it last, technically, if you guys are biting at the nip to say it here.
Okay, ready? Again.
What?
Not it.
Not
Did you
it.
really just...
What do you mean again? What?
Yeah, you
Oh,
don't
it
just
was
get
me,
to go
so we're gonna do it over.
Run it back. Run it back, no consequences.
Yep.
Not it.
Oh my, okay. So, people really don't want to say what happened here last time, I guess.
Let's just not acknowledge it and keep going. Genius.
On the last episode of Silent Echo.
Uh,
Doo-doo.
We almost died.
You did. Multiple times. But you
I didn't
also
feel like that.
didn't in the end. You chose some sides. If you see around here, we do have some darkened squares of some people that you chose not to save.
Yeah.
Emotionally damaged.
Good.
Oh!
I think Snickers had the toughest choice of all.
I think Snickers did have one of the toughest choices. Yeah, Snickers, what did you have to decide last session?
Snickers had to choose between her newfound family, the gargoyles, and Genoa, the space arm lady who she has no attachment to.
So yeah, why'd you make that choice?
Because it seemed right. The gargoyle, even though we had a common enemy against Herman, or sorry, not Herman, Jerkov, kept attacking Genoa, and he would not listen to reason, so we had to take him down.
That's true. Unfortunate, but what was done has been done.
She cried a lot.
As you also were the one that did the final blow as well to the gargoyle.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't just
Good
like
night.
choose not to save him. You're like, okay, I gotta stab you now and rip off your wings.
Good night, you sweet prince.
Other than that, you guys did take down Turkoff, the puppet master. You found the source of his strings, and even though you yourselves became puppets for a little bit, you were able to break through it and fight on back. Cecil, as well as some of you, also tapped into something for the first time in this campaign. Your masks. How did that go, Cecil? For you finally donning the mask for the first time.
Didn't even need it.
You're right. You're so right, King.
He's so good.
You so good. God, that ultra special mask you've been given, and then you refused outright. Didn't even need it.
Exactly. My power is my own.
But even though you didn't need it, you did use it. What was it like using it?
It felt like I did like 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups. Just at the start of the day, you know?
And 3
Yeah.
kilometers of running?
I didn't do the running part.
No, okay.
The running
I would
part's
have been
overrated.
invincible if I did.
Not needed that.
Said no cardio for me.
No cardio needed. But Snickers, you did a little bit more with your mask, as well as possibly entertaining a voice that you heard in there.
Oh my god, she made a deal with a voice. So there
She
was the
did.
mask voice, the operational one, and then there's a whisper of evil there.
Well,
lurking in the
evil is subjective, but there was a whisper of a voice that happened to just cackle after it said any sentence, which maybe is like some kind of denotation of where they lean, but who's to say, huh?
Yep.
Maybe you
Made a
just found
deal.
that voice just found the whole fight just very funny.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that the deal will have no consequences later, and it'll be just like, hey, can you help me move or something?
Dude, I've been looking to move for a bit, and I could really use someone to help move this sofa. I really need someone's help with it. Just if you could pick it up, that'd be cool.
It's been a decade. I really hate this place.
I really hate this place.
The other one has air conditioning.
It's got central, dude. That being
Inbuilt unit. Laundry.
Laundry? Shit. Imagine this whole fantasy game for Dungeons & Dragons just becomes a moving simulator.
It's
Oh, you just
Sims
roll to
all
see-
over.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
Sims, but you roll.
Can you guess what I was playing before?
Were you playing Sims
Sims?
right before this?
Yeah.
Oh god, that's rich. Okay, cool. That at least covers some of like what we did last session. So where we last picked off, you guys had just leveled up, you had looted the place, and you all seem to sort of just be surrounding a certain mystical space-armed lady.
Oh, the gargoyle.
Oh, you're right, the gargoyle.
Snickers wipes her like eyes. It's like you said what you knew was important.
Yes, I did. It was important that I lived. It was important that he died.
Makes sense.
Thank you for helping me, though. I greatly
Real,
appreciate it.
Can you hold my arms? I need you to hold me back for a moment.
What did you ask? Sorry, you cut out for me.
Real, hold my hand.
Okay.
Hold my
okay,
hand.
Okay, Snickers.
Wait, no, hold my horns.
Hold
Oh.
my horns.
Okay, so Real just grabs it a little below the tip of the horns.
Okay.
All right,
just below the
Snickers.
tip. All
Yeah.
right. You're telling me that was the important info that you had to live. We could have done.
Oh. And she looks around to Rill and to Cecil, going, I don't remember her being this feisty. Is she okay?
Girl, you haven't seen me rage. Now I'm raging.
now I'm raging. I'd like to rage, please.
I'd like to. Yeah.
Real is just like, struggling a bit. As soon as Snickers reaches the full extent of the arms, pulls back and Snickers forward. Couple hours in the tower makes one grow.
Oh, I definitely agree. I can't say I'm the same person I was before entering this tower, but I really do appreciate all your help that you did for saving me. If it wasn't for you, I definitely wouldn't be here right now, and I do acknowledge that. Thank you. If there is something I can do to help you, I'm here for it, but also, we should be heading out. Have any of you found any of the containers that Kark needed?
Kark.
Yes.
I love that guy.
First, it was the sheesh.
I'll take that as a no then. I imagine we should be looking around for some of these containers then. Time is of the essence. We need to do it before the tower's been finished.
Have you found any of the containers?
No, that's why I was asking.
She was
Terrible.
unconscious.
I sort of got knocked unconscious very quickly into my foray here.
Real, remember, she was being sacrificed.
You're right. All right.
Didn't we get some containers?
We did.
Yes,
we haven't
you
told
did.
her anything though.
Oh, I'm just gonna walk away.
I don't know if I want to tell her.
Yeah, I'm gonna act like I'm looking for them.
Okay.
Real
He-
just nods and points towards the exit. We cleared this floor. Didn't find any. Maybe we gotta keep looking.
There were none on this floor? Oh, goodness.
Nope.
Hopefully Terry and the rest found some then. Maybe we should regroup downstairs.
I'm
Where's
holding
that guy?
Cecil's hand.
Fucking Terry.
Well,
Away
Kark
from-
asked him to go to the 15th through the 20th floors, correct? So he should be
Hold my hand.
over there.
Hold my hand.
All things assuming that they went well. Weren't you also supposed to be on some other floors?
Well, you see, Snickers over here heard a yell and instinctively jumped. And that's how we're here.
Where'd he go?
I imagine that yell might have been me. I do apologize for throwing you off your needed path. Perhaps we should go visit those floors then to see what containers we have missed then if we haven't been able to find any.
Guys, Cecil.
Yes?
I can't find him.
Snickers. Rill grabs one of her horns. Come on.
What about Cecil?
We'll find him.
Okay.
He's definitely not hiding.
I'm looking for containers.
Oh!
Should we find him? Do you need help finding your friend?
Yes, please. And I need help re-rotating myself.
Control
I'm
and scroll wheel.
Oh, thank God.
It looks like
Are
you're
you good there?
tilted.
Yeah, you're still
No.
tilted there.
No, please.
Oh, I'm tilted. All right.
Here you go.
Thank you.
It's hold down control, rotate the scroll wheel while you have
What's
your token
the-
selected.
Okay, how about what do I properly do so that I'm not rotating, but I can zoom out?
Then you don't hold control and you just scroll wheel.
Well, I'm using a trackpad, that's why.
I cannot tell you what to do with just a trackpad. I'm sorry.
The
Rest and
plus
pepperoni.
and minus keys, but only if you have a numpad.
One of the few things that I think this game requires is in fact a mouse.
Yeah.
It's okay, it's okay.
Do,
Alright.
do you need help finding your friend though? Before we go?
Cecil!
Give me
I don't even-
away!
Wait,
I don't even know where the squirrel went. Snickers!
Screaming is being heard off in the back. Oh,
There
there
she
he
All
is.
right, let's go. We gotta get out of here.
Oh, it seems
Then
we're all
what,
fine
like-
then.
The
Yeah,
time
we're
is of the
fine.
essence.
I was looking for containers. Get us out.
Did you find any?
No, I didn't see any. Let's look somewhere else.
Okay. Where do you suggest we go check?
I suggest
you-
we split up, gang.
Didn't you
No.
just... Wait, no.
We did that before. That didn't work out very well.
Jinhua,
I'm on his
Is-
back.
Yes.
is there?
On the-
Stop! Go away. Jinhua,
Yes.
is there a place that you think the containers would be?
I mean, I imagine they would have been on this floor. This was supposed to be my duty to explore this place. If you have not already, then perhaps we need to go and explore around.
No,
Well-
we did.
Maybe it just needs a second pair of eyes. Why don't you check this floor in case I missed something? And we'll check back with Kark to see if he found anything. Or if anyone he talked to found anything.
I feel if it's all right with you, I would rather not be alone after all that.
Yeah,
All
that's
right,
kinda
Rill?
mean.
Actually, no, I lied. Squirrel, accompany her.
What? Why are you lying?
About you
How about-
accompanying her?
Why are you always lying?
How about we go out with Genoa to Kark, leave her with Kark, and have him send us back to where we were originally meant to go?
Excellent point, Fish. Let's go.
Okay.
So where am I going?
Follow!
Okay. And so, where are you guys going now?
To Kark.
To Kark.
Okay, you guys are going to Kark. Okay, I'll bring you over to the tower.
Kate, wasn't that an Amapigus
Oh,
moment?
this tower, just my bad. Wrong one.
Was it? I don't
We'll
know.
look
It
at
Wait
seemed
a
like
minute.
Amapigus. Like it seemed like a most popular girl one. Like, so where am I going?
So where am I going?
Well, you see,
For some reason, Luna didn't get brought over with us. My bad. Just a second. I'm gonna
Oh,
activate
I
you
see.
guys
she
right
is
now.
here.
Yeah,
Oh.
but it's like the old art.
Yeah. Then I'm gonna activate this one.
Oh.
There you go.
Man,
Yeah, it should
Snickers
be in
got
the correct
cuter.
one
How do I get Genoa off of like the bottom left corner of my screen?
now. That's gonna be me. I have to control the stage here.
Okay, I was like, I'm not clicking on her. What's going
Well,
on?
yeah, because you're not in control of her.
Thank goodness.
Okay.
Damn.
That being said, you guys make your way back over to the center.
I look over the edge.
Oh,
Of glory.
Clark!
You still see all of the staircases themselves sort of like maneuvering up from their various locations from the center pillar. An odd silence hangs over in the air. The echo that had been filling up your minds last time you were here has gone silent.
Oh.
And you see over in the bottom, as you call out his name, Kark. He looks up and he sees you three with Genoa, and he goes, "Is that Genoa with you? Is she okay? Please, just a second." And he goes over to the terminal at the center pillar, and you see him fidgeting with some of the odd bits and baubles around before one of the staircases reaches its way over to you, and you have a clear way down. Please, come down.
I shout back, yeah! And make my way down.
Real follows the squirrel.
Okay.
In my gnome.
The gnome.
The squirrel.
As you three are walking down, Genoa sort of like bursts past you and starts running over to Kark. You see the arms in her hand and her hat sort of like disappear, going back into themselves before she like leaps over into Kark, who had been running up the staircase to try and meet you three. And he sort of gets knocked down a couple of steps, and you hear him mutter something to her before finally reaching out and looking her over and going, Are you okay? I heard screaming. Is everything functional? Everything is fine? Everything's working? And you hear her reply, "Yes, everything's fine. I'm all good to go. These three, they actually saved me."
Did they hug?
They did hug, yes.
That's good.
At one point, you saw like all of the exploding hair from behind Kark sort of like enveloping her from when she like pushed herself into him.
Whoa, freaky.
Shut up!
But-
it's so cute.
But as he pulls her out of like the giant white hairball, that's when he was like looking her over, and then he looks up at you three and goes, "Perhaps I was a little too quick to judge earlier. I apologize. Thank you for saving Genoa."
We also killed the wooden man.
The wooden man? Is that? And he starts going back to look over some of his notes. I don't know about any wooden man. And Genoa goes, "Turkoth, Kark. It's Turkoth. They killed him. All the puppets shouldn't be functional anymore." And he looks back and goes, "But his notes. You saved his notes, correct?" Genoa looks back and goes, I was knocked out for most of it. I haven't even been able to find his laboratory or his study. Have you three been able to find any notes sent by Turkoth by chance?"
Ooh, doesn't sound like something we did. Doesn't sound like something we did.
Can't
Phil's
say
dead.
that we found anything.
Where's Terry?
Terry was sent up to the upper floors. I imagine it was the floor 20 through 25, actually, that he was sent to. He should be back any moment, hopefully, with some of the containers. If you didn't find any notes by Turkoth, you found the containers, correct?
No containers. Not one container.
Oh my god, you guys are... Oh. Okay, we're playing this game. Okay.
Cecil's a liar. But he's
I
a cool
didn't
liar.
say anything.
You definitely did say things, but sure.
All I said was containers. I didn't even say anything after that.
Containers.
Real's a liar, but she's a cool liar.
Okay, above table. Is Snickers saying this openly or thinking?
No, she's thinking it. Sorry, it's just spy
Okay.
family quotes.
Okay. Okay.
Kark looks back and goes, "Well, thank you for saving Genoa, but we still have a very pressing matter then. We need those containers, and if we don't have those containers, we need Turkoth's notes.
What
Was
do
there
they
any
do?
indication of where his study was?"
Well, we went in, we fought puppets. They were eating. We fought the gargoyle and we saved Genoa.
They were eating?
Air quotes, eating.
Air quotes, eating. She repeats.
What
Girl
is
looks
this
at
air
Snickers.
quotes? What do you mean by this? Does this mean anything to me, or am I supposed to know?
I just imagine them making little finger movements.
Yeah, same. Sorry.
Just your little hooves just going, eh, eh.
And then Clark, like, what does this mean?
What does this mean?
Bunny?
Bad Bunny?
Oh no.
I've been... Let's see. Do you mean that they were pretending as if they were eating? Did they have, like, rotten foodstuffs that they were miming the actions of eating?
They were pretending. So it seems like a lot of the puppets had souls in them before, but the souls were corrupted and kind of stuck on a loop.
Cart goes back to some of his notes, riffling through them. Yes, this does make sense. This would go with the phantom limb theories. Of course, some puppet facsimiles, even though they were housing the souls, they would have probably become corrupted if the etheric influence wasn't kept in check.
He's
So-
saying a lot of words I don't understand.
Basically, those puppets weren't able to house the soul for an indefinite period of time. He comes over to you and he sort of stoops down to your level and he gestures to you three. Your bodies, your flesh, your blood, and everything, it's perfectly designed in order to keep the aether within you, the parts of your soul, intact. No funny business of them going around one another or leaking out in any sort of fashion. Wood, however, is an imperfect substance, an imperfect housing, and the soul, the aether, eventually seeps out, leaving
You mean
only
like-
faint remnants and traces of what was before, like water stains on a piece of wood table. These stains, echoes, memories, are instinctual habits that the soul used to preside with before. One of the main habits being that we eat, we consume. And so one of the stains left in the woods, in the grains of the wood, was that they continued those habits. This is what we call part of the phantom limb associations, or the syndromes. And it seems that you encountered it firsthand.
Yeah.
Brill crosses her arms throughout Kark's whole explanation and is just nodding. That totally happened. Witnessed it firsthand.
Then if you witnessed it firsthand, you've also witnessed these puppets up close and personal. By chance, were you able to understand any of their structure, but perhaps how they were created?
Oh, yeah.
Created, no. But
They-
ball jointed
No,
dolls.
We did. They used Medusa something.
Wait, do you know the formula? Do you know how they were actually created? And he comes to you specifically and goes, if you know, please, I need to know anything that you know.
We found a pot, and it said it was. She closes her eyes and starts to think, and like reimagine. Like it said, wood soaked in blood, heart of a man, and a steed's last breath.
What was that last part?
Steed last breath.
A deed's last breath?
A steed,
A
like a horse
steed. Ah,
or a mount. Wait, there are no
Okay.
horses in this world. No.
I was worried for a second, but a steed could be. Yes, that would be possible. I could work with that. And He starts scribbling down some of these notes. As you've been saying them, he was feverishly like writing them down one after one of another, and then he sort of mixes them with some other notes, folds them up, and puts them inside his robe pocket. He then holds out his hand, barely coming out of like the long robe sleeve. And he goes, "Please, if you have any of the containers, or if you know where any of they are, I implore you to please help. But I need a moment alone with Genoa for a second." And he pulls Genoa. You can see him sort of like, he towers over. He's like twice her size, but he pushes her gently from the back, like with his robe, just being like, "Come, we have to go over here now to the corner." Genoa goes, but Kark, I and he goes, no, I have, there's something I have to share with you. And they go
Brill
off,
puts up
to
her
the corner.
hand. Oh, can I stop him before?
Yeah, you can stop him.
Okay. Wait a minute. Genoa promised to share information with us in return for saving her.
And information. Genoa, what information did you promise them? And Genoa looks back and goes, I did learn some things before I was knocked out. I was going to tell you, but if they would rather know now, I can answer some of their questions.
Please, I just killed my friend for you.
Friend is a strong word.
You were friends with the Quasi?
How did you know the Quasi were involved?
She looks over at Kark, and Kark, you see just sort of like, just like the picture, him just staring at you. He's stock still, but the hair is like gently flowing whenever small breeze is able to escape into the interior. He looks back at Genoa and goes, "You can tell them of that." And Genoa looks back and goes, "Well, we've been studying the Quasi for a while now. The ridge between the worlds. This isn't our first encounter with the Quasi. In fact, if we had some more time, Kark, there's another Quasi up on floor 12 that we can dissect and get for parts." Kark writes it down and goes, "Good to know. Wonderful. Yes, the Quasi you see are part of the mountain ridge that separates the planes of existence. We are, for lack of a better term, on assignment here from Nor in order to study their influence and how we may utilize it for certain endeavors." That
What
is about all I
endeavor?
can say for now. I'm sorry, that's classified.
Why is Zarunta interested in this tower?
Can you roll persuasion?
Okay. I just want to make sure I said it right too. I don't.
You did.
Well,
I'm getting my
one sec.
popcorn for all this lore.
Yeah, you guys went the lore bomb route for here.
Oh fuck! Should I grab a snack or?
If you want.
Persuasion.
Do you want some popcorn? I have enough. I have 2 bags.
Okay, do you have some to share?
Yeah. Here.
Oh.
Ooh, the 3.
Oh, do we not need any popcorn anymore?
You don't need the popcorn anymore.
Okay, I'll
Sorry,
close it
guys. I
again.
tried.
No,
Bye.
there's still more
all
lore.
right, I'm not even gonna get up.
I'm not even getting up, God. I'm sorry, I do appreciate what you've done for Genoa, but that's classified. I can't. And you see him look up to floor 10. There's a figure standing there.
We all look.
A blackened silhouette with a wide brimmed hat.
Wide brimmed hat.
Terry has a hat. Now.
Terry doesn't have a hat.
Terry!
And
Terry's back, guys!
this figure walks down the steps.
You mean rolls?
Oh my god.
Terry?
Terry?
Kark has immediately shut up anything he was saying. And you see him sort of attempt standing stock still, as if like a commander was on deck, but with his poor posture and gait, the most he can do is sort of just keep his head tall and erect. The figure walks down the stairs, and you see a glowing presence beneath the wide-brimmed hat that sort of like emanates this odd static glow. And then
Snicker holds Cecil's finger.
I had a voice for him at one point, but I've lost it.
Stop fucking touching me.
And you see him walk down, and he finally sees you three and goes, "Ah, there's 3 more in the tower, is there, Kark?"
Snickers holds Rill's finger.
Oh, much better.
He looks to you three, and you see him bow, and his little shoulder cape on his left-hand side, he flourishes it as he stands back up. "Charmed to meet you 3 of your acquaintances. Vubin of the Wide Hats. What are
Can
your
you say that? Can you
three
say that again?
names?" Vubin of the Wide Hats.
Can you spell it?
It's right there.
It's on screen.
Green.
I'm asking Boobin how to spell it.
Oh, okay. However you think it should be spelled is correct in my mind.
Can't spell.
But now, what are your 3's names?
Rill nods her head and says Rill.
Snickers.
Cecil extends his hand for a handshake and says, "Lord Cecil."
I can't with this guy.
The
Vubin,
fucking guy.
Vubin
stands a little taller, holds out his hand to you, and roll a quick strength for me.
Strength. Oh boy.
Crush his hand.
Crush his hand!
You
Do
just want me
it!
to roll strength, right?
Just strength.
Okay.
Hmm.
I can't even see what I rolled. That's pretty impressive. What
You
the
can't?
fuck? Why am I
Roll
on
the 10.
blind GM roll?
Why are you on blind GM roll?
Did you right click it and click reveal just so I know that I failed?
Yeah.
Yeah!
That was funny. Thanks for letting only me know.
Yeah.
With your 10, as he extends his hand and you both meet it, it's not that you failed or anything. It's just that you felt some of the strength pushing from his grip. He's very used to like those silent business people types where the strength is met in the handshake for the rest of the conversation going forward. You feel a strong grip from him, and while not being able to exactly meet it back with your own, you're able to still hold a bit of your own. You're still able to maintain the level of pressure, and you're not like visibly wincing in pain from it. He pulls it back, and you see his teeth sort of like gnarl together a little more, as the smile spreads. And he goes, "A pleasure, Lord Cecil. Of what dominion do you hail from?"
What dominion do I have?
What are you lord of, if you are a lord?
Lord Almighty.
You want to really roll that?
Fuck, man. Before I answer that, may I just know why it's your business?
Oh god.
Well, as a lord would know, the Wide Hats are in the employ of all lords. Why I would like to know what my potential client could be doing here.
Don't worry, I'm not a potential client. Also, can I ask who actually has the containers?
I don't know.
Hang on.
Spooked.
I was checking my inventory. And I don't think I have.
You guys
I don't
asked
know if
that I
we-
would not put them in your container, in your inventories, and that they would just be in a general inventory. I added them to the container room.
So we'll just say like we have.
Hang on. I have notes. I know how many we have.
Well,
Oh, good,
aren't they
I
right
don't.
there? In notes?
No. What?
How many do we have? 10? It's like 10 to me.
Do you
Am
want
I
to?
looking at
Do you want to
something
say
else?
with your notes, Rill?
I'm looking. Sorry.
Okay, I can let you look if you want.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10. Wow, we found a lot.
That's what I'm saying.
Shit, I can't find any. Well, I guess I didn't write it down. Could have
That's
sworn I did.
okay. By the notes that I had, you guys had 9.
Hmm.
Oh, what is this 10th one?
With the one that was already locked in place when you first saw the
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Vubin, meanwhile, looks around the room to Kark and then Genoa, and he kneels down to Genoa and says, "Now, were you successful in finding any of these containers we needed?" Genoa shakes her head. No, I'm sorry. There was none on my floors." "Nah, no need to be sorry, child. There's not that much success with my floors either. I nary but found one. However, I did find," and he holds up a shuffle of papers, "these for you, Kark." He hands them over to Kark, and Kark starts rifling through them with an incessant speed, looking through various parts. You can see the papers that are obviously not important. He just throws right over his shoulder, and they're already dead to his eyes. And Vubin, meanwhile, goes, "Now, don't be so hasty. We have all the time to look over these after the mission is done, and you can fully take your payment in kind. What I need first, Kark, is to uphold your end of the bargain." And Kark looks around and goes, but I need the containers in order to actually get us up there."
What are you gonna do up there?
"What are we going to do? We have..." And he looks to Vubin. "Sir, are we allowed to say?" Vubin looks and goes, "Lord Cecil, you would understand that clients that I've worked for, fellow lords, appreciate their discretion in matters such as these. I'm afraid we can't exactly divulge what we do up there, but it is important for the safety of Ivraia that we do get up there."
If you can't say what you're gonna do up there, can we come with you?
We're looking for our robot.
Hmm.
"You're looking for your robot? I can assure you, your robot is not at the top of this ever-building tower."
Have you seen where our robot went? Can we retrieve our robot?
"I have not seen a robot. Sir, Kark pipes up. They arrived with a robot. He's currently on floors 35 through 40. Well, understandable then. If he's on those floors, then I imagine you can adjust the staircases and they could just go find him then, correct? Is that what you three would like?"
I think we need to talk.
"Of course, and I still need to talk with Genoa. Vubin, if you don't mind, I'll be over in the..." "I do mind, actually.
Oh god.
Get back to your station." And Vubin sort of goes, "Yes, of course, sir," with a terse, under his breath statement. He sort of like turns back And you see his hair whip in the wind, and he walks back to his central pillar. Meanwhile, Genoa looks over and says, Mr. Vubin, what would you like me doing in the meanwhile? Whatever you want, girl, I don't care. And you see him turn around and go over to one of the corners, starting to rifle through some more research papers. You guys now have a moment to talk to yourselves.
I think he's jealous of her hat.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely some connection between the two. Almost familial.
Guys, if we give the containers, I don't think they're gonna let us go with them to the top of the tower. They won't even tell us what they're doing.
Sounds like it.
Until they provide information, we don't provide information.
Yeah, but then how do we get information?
We feed them bits and pieces. Not entirely true, though.
What else can we feed them? Like, oh, we're gonna go look for Terry. Oh my goodness, there's a container at the top of these steps.
We could. And then we could blame it on Terry. This fucking guy.
We're looking for our robot. Let's blame it on Terry. God, you guys just use him.
Didn't they say Terry's gonna be back any second now?
Did they? I don't know.
Pretty sure that was said.
Maybe we, well, seeing as how Vubin is clearly in charge and they're afraid of this Vubin guy.
Yeah, he's the alpha.
We could possibly, since he didn't seem to care where Genoa went, maybe we can, persuade her ever so gently. And maybe she knows how to heal.
Unless she... Oh, yeah.
And maybe she knows how to heal.
Yeah, guys, I don't know about you.
Okay, what would you guys like to do?
Can we try to talk to Genoa since she's not talking to Clark and Vubin?
Sure. You find Genoa over in her own corner. She's honestly sort of just sitting down on one of the banisters, legs swinging in the air. And she sees you three approach. Hello there. What's happening?
To check on you. Like, are you really okay?
Can you roll persuasion?
Yes, I can.
Yes, I can.
Oh my god!
The nat 20!
Stop! Safe.
Damn it, you should have asked a better question to get that nat 20.
I know.
A nat 20 does not always mean you absolutely get everything. It just means you get the best situation of an outcome.
But it was so cool.
Truth be told, not entirely. I did just almost die.
Yeah, good and
It's
wrong.
rough, buddy.
Also, she looks around and mutters under her breath. I'd really rather Vubin not be here, but this is where we are now, so just keep your voices quiet.
Oh god. I have a dumb question before I ask to do something. Where are our spell slots?
What are your spell slots?
Where are they? They're just in
So
the HUD?
they should be in the HUD. If you go to your combat HUD and you go to cast
Mhm.
spells, you'll see the little checkboxes under each of like your first level ones. For instance, you have 3 level 1 spell slots.
Okay, bless. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Okay.
But things
So-
in like the left for cantrips, those are infinite, as many as you want.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Mhm.
Maybe I don't have to do this. No, I'll do it anyway. So I like Snickers goes over and pats her on the back and casts Charm Person.
Oh,
Okay, go ahead and cast it for me. It must make a wisdom saving throw. Okay, now we need to go check Shenhua real quick. Sorry, just 1 second. I need to go get her actual. Need her stat sheet now. I didn't think I would need her stat sheet, but we're here. Okay. Okay, she passes it. She does not get charmed.
Okay. Snickers is still gonna ask. It's like you seem uncomfortable around him, and like you rather talk to Clark. Do you think
Oop, I
there's
think-
a way Clark could? No, I was thinking. Do
gotcha.
you think there's a way Clark could send him to another floor?
We're indebted to Ruben. We can't really be messing around with him like that. The whole reason we're here and able to do this expedition is because of him. But yes, I do appreciate Kark over him. Kark is my adoptive father.
Damn it!
at that moment, Rill just does a snap in her head. Knew it.
I really didn't have anything before the accident, and Kark took me in, and in a way, the arms spring out from her hat as it like tightens around her, and you can see she's sort of not exactly comfortable with things going as they are right now. It's because of him I even have these.
I see. Snickers looks to Cecil and Rill. Like makes puppy eye dog. Once guys,
Puppy eye dogs. I love those puppy eye dogs.
thank you. Snickers original. And like kind of like saying like, can we please give them one component?
Rill looks at Snickers and then looks at Genoa and says, "What if you tag along with us onto the other floors? That way you're away from Ruben, in a sense, and then we're still looking for containers."
Yeah, I would be okay with that. I feel, I mean, that's what we probably should be doing anyways. We need at least, we need those 10 containers.
Okay.
If we don't have those containers before the tower's built, this is all for naught. So yes, I'd be very much appreciative of that.
Do you know what happens when the tower is done being built? I mean, Jerkov is kind of dead, so is it gonna, like, what's gonna happen?
It is definitely still finishing, even without Turgoth. The only thing that, fortunately, should make things a little easier is that none of the puppets can function without Turgoth's presence. When this tower finishes, and she's gonna look around again. Ruben would be over in the other corner. Clark would be over at the pillar. When this tower finishes, there's a massive amount of ether that could be controlled by anyone who's at the waiting end for it. Do you know of Hermund?
You saw a picture of him.
Well, in our studies of exploring the planar ridges, we discovered that there were some that have already traversed this, crossing over into other worlds. However, not all exactly made it through to the other side. Hermund was one of those people. He carries in him the collective ether of an entire world's populace. All of the souls somehow crammed inside his small body. And he's trying to make his way here. This tower is a lighthouse, you see, for when you're stuck in those planar ridges or anywhere. Really, there are some spells you can cast that sort of act as a homing beacons, of a sense. Though you may not see them, you know when you walk and you feel yourself just pulled in a certain direction? That's what this tower is trying to be for him. He's been lost in those mountains for, if our studies are correct, about 3,008 years.
It's a lot.
And it's taken 3,000 years for that ether to travel from the planar ridges to now this spot. For you see, in outside of the stars themselves, there's, and then that's when Kark's gonna sort of pipe up and go, Genoa, I need your help over here. She's gonna go, I'm sorry, but I have to go. If you do want to go to those other places, though, we definitely should, because we need to make sure we're there by the time that he's found his way here.
Wait, do you know how to heal?
No, I don't. I know how to
Okay.
punch.
Yeah, that was evident.
Well, let me know your decision. And she scampers off over to Kark.
Guys,
Right,
I can't do this.
quick question above table. Who has the highest persuasion?
Guys, I can't do this. Yeah, it was the highest persuasion.
What's
15?
persuasion? Charm? Charm?
Yeah.
Or
In a
charisma?
sense, you can
Sorry.
also look at the big table and it'll tell you persuasion.
14. I have a +4 on my.
I have a
Charisma.
+5.
A +5.
I think it'll take much persuading to get Kark to send us to the next level.
I don't think we should go to the next level. It seems like we have all their components.
We have 9.
They need 10, and they have 1. 1 + 9 = 10.
Yes, I know.
Math checks out.
9 times 1, though.
It's 8 times 1.
Oh my.
Oh, shit. It's the meme. Guys, he said it.
Bring
No
out the maple syrups.
Sorry, that's our lore right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, what did... Okay, so, guys, I can't do this. I think we should give him... We should give him the stuff. And I feel like everyone just wants to use the people that are coming over. It doesn't seem right.
We don't have enough information on anybody, really, to make a solid decision.
But
On
that's
one
the
hand,
thing-
if we give it to them, then who knows what Vubin wants? Who knows what Hermund wants?
Just because we don't know doesn't mean we should not do anything.
I didn't say not do anything. I'm just saying try to get bits and pieces.
How?
It looks over at Cecil.
Yeah, you really don't want to give people anything, but you also have no plan of how to then get those things.
I know. Cecil, help formulate plan.
I don't want to give people things, but I want to get things still.
What a loot goblin.
Exactly.
Hmm.
I'm not the brains of this mission. Come on now.
He's obviously just the charm.
What does that leave you?
The muscle.
I've seen you on the ground more than fighting.
Stares at Cecil. Her nose like wrinkles a little.
What is this? Are we on the moon right now? What is going on?
Luna?
Dun, 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 dun.
Hey, it's a cool song, okay?
Hell yeah.
I wasn't there
Sure.
last night thinking, oh, this fits. I'm gonna add it.
Oh man. Honestly, I don't really know what the fuck we should do because we need to get to the top. They don't really seem to want us to go to the top. I don't think we should fight them. Well, I don't
will
think we could
s-
win a fight.
I will say, just really quickly, as a clarification,
We should fight
they
them.
didn't really want to tell you what they had to do at the top. They didn't really say that they didn't want you coming to the top with them.
So
I mean,
that's
I'm just saying, there could be a difference of those things. Depending on if
Snickers,
you guys think no or yes, that's up to you. But
Snickers is gonna walk off to like a little corner for a moment. Kick her
Ooh.
foot. Ruffle through
as-
her hair.
As that happens, Snickers, feel a little bit of a rumble in your back pocket.
What? Is it my mask?
It is.
She puts it on.
A second. You feel the mask sort of light up with its blue etheric energies as the lines within it fill themselves. The other two are too far to hear this, but you see something very new enter your vision.
Oh god.
oh, that's so cute.
Finally, a moment to ourselves.
I've been watching his other streams. I don't like this.
I apologize we can't meet in person for now, but that can change later. For now, though, I feel it's important we discuss some terms.
Oh. Did you want to be paid back now?
Not now, but soon, yes. You are still alive due to the help with my powers, after all. And trust me, this is only the beginning of the iceberg.
Oh no.
There's much, much deeper you can go with this if you so wish.
I can get more power if I listen to you?
Absolutely. To the point where the hunt would even be beneath you.
I mean, I would have never disgraced the hunt like that, but
Oh, no. To the point where anyone within the hunt would be so beneath your powers that you would always be the first to enter it on a whim. Who cares? By the time you enter, you will have already won.
she kind of frowns at that. It's like, I don't think you understand the spirit of the hunt.
No, I don't. In fact, I couldn't give a rat's ass about that hunt.
Because she's a rat, get it?
I hate you.
But what I do care about is seeing some good, real-natured fun. For many of the hunts we've had before, at least from what I've seen, they pale in comparison to the fights that are out here, to the actual brutality that can be seen on the battlefield over here, to the new marks that you can have, and more importantly, the new prey.
You said that you wanted to talk about terms.
I did. I'd like to enter into an accord with you. That is part of my terms. For this to not just be a one-off deal. Stick with me. Do one action for me. And from then on, I will increase your power. I will alert you to new, powerful hunts, to increase those powers. And in the end, all I wish is for one thing to be seen. But first I have to know. Would you like this to be a continuing relationship?
What, mister? Yes, I do.
Wonderful. I need just one thing from you then. When you reach the top of that tower, I need you to swipe all that ether from me. There are 3 words that should be said at the top of that tower. I want you to just change one of them. Do you remember what those words were supposed to be?
Me.
Hope.
Yes. Hope echoed out 3 times in some sentimentalist fashion. A cry, a beacon for a soul to be found. Only the first 2 are really necessary for it to happen. The third is more for what happens after. The third, it might have been told before, other words that could control what will come with after. But I need you to say one word as the third for me. Let the other 2 ring out with their hopes. But when it comes to you, echo out, burn.
Burn or bird?
Burn.
Burn.
And when that happens, I assure you, you'll get the first of your major prey. Truly something that could outshine even the greatest of the hunts. All for you. I will then collect the ether, and it will be readdressed in a certain specific way across this land, empowering others.
Empowering others that work for you.
Aye, yes.
Okay, I'll do my best.
Wonderful. As soon as that has happened, as soon as you've said the word and dealt with the immediate consequences, the next time you find yourself in a safe state, I will reconnect with you. In the battle itself, I will empower you. I will show you at least a small taste of what this continuing relationship will be. But until then, give me your best. I'm here watching and want to see a good show. And you feel the presence fade away from you. The image obfuscates into small particles of ether that drift throughout the air, only seen to you. And they turn from their soft blue to an intense orange and red that burns itself into the bricks. When you take off the mask, there is none of those etheric particles left in the air, but you do see the aftermarks that they left. Sudden scorches left into the bricks, covering the echoes still written on the walls.
She stares at it for a moment and kind of reaches her hand and touches it gently.
It's hot.
In Topeka.
There's a small seared singe that you feel the warmth of, like a pan that had just been taken off the heat.
Yeah, she takes a breath and then she sticks her hand in her hair and she takes out a component and then like the other hand and takes out another component and walks over to Clark. It's like, hey, mister, I found these two in the corner over there.
Kirk looks over and goes, "What? In the corner? They were here the whole time. Please.
Yeah.
We need to put those in now."
There was a weak brick and I just kind of tapped it and they fell. Like it fell out and they were in there. Here you go.
Wonderful, thank you. I appreciate it. I do not care where they came from. I only care where they go. Please, I could use your help in sorting this out. If you have any of the other containers, that would be wonderful. You should call over your friends. You see him sort of just scrambling around, trying to prepare to actually start installing some of these containers.
Snickers looks at the group.
Mm-hmm.
Rill's just looking at her.
Cecil's just looking at her.
She moves her head like, come over here. You know that gesture? Like the tilt?
the head
The little head.
The gesture with the lips like over in that direction.
Well, I imagine they just don't respond.
I mean, I'll go over.
Yeah. Rill shakes her head and walks over.
Do you want to say anything to them, Snickers?
I gave him 2 of the components I found over there.
You found components?
Yeah, they were in the corner.
Wow.
Yeah, I know it's a little difficult to believe, but with my beastly sniffing, I was able to smell something that was off.
With my little rat sniffers.
Why? She's not a rat.
She's a squirrel.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right.
Whirl.
She's a yak. She's a yak, no.
She's a yak,
I
no.
get it. Yakety sax, because you're a bard. Oh.
Ha! Yakety yak. Don't talk back. I love
hate
that
it.
show. That was a great show.
Get me out, Mom.
So?
Rill walks over to Kark to see exactly what he's doing with the containers.
I've put 2 of them in. I don't exactly understand how this machine works, though. I would need some assistance.
And I look at what it looks like now, the screen with the
Sure.
containers there.
So you're gonna see this in here, but
It's a puzzle.
you really only have 2 of them because you decided to not take the rest out of your pocket, but I am not going to be asked to put these away as you guys decide to solely go, now you get 1 more. So these are the ones you've collected.
Okay. Can we move them? Oh, we can.
You can.
Okay, and the one in place is the one they already had, right?
Yes, that one is locked.
Okay.
Is that Genoa giggling in the background?
Oh, do you hear in my background?
Yeah. There's a
Oh
little
no,
bit of
there's some
giggles.
kids. No, there's some kids outside screaming and laughing.
Damn kids.
Damn
Yeah.
kids.
Get a job.
Get a job, you
Yeah.
nitwits.
Yeah, can we rotate this? Oh, I can flip it.
Are you supposed to?
Are they supposed to line up like this?
So what you can do is, if you, or, sorry, there was a method for you doing like sub pixel movements, and I forgot it.
Oh, to not align it to grid?
Is that
No.
in token settings for them, Mira?
Oh,
I think it's wait. Is
Or
it
is that just in the scene settings?
one of these buttons? There we go. It's if you hold shift while you're putting it down.
Shift while putting it down. There you go. So yeah, since you picked up those two, I'll say that it's those two that you have right now. The rest are still hidden away in your pockets, refusing to be seen.
okay. Oh, okay, it lined up. And then...
Are you matching the eyeballs to the dot?
I was matching the colors and the eyeballs. Do we have a... I mean, I guess they don't all match. Mr. Kark, how does it go like this? Is it color to color? Then do I...
I don't know. I really need your help on here.
How do I rotate this?
Maybe if you ask him again, he'll know this time.
How do I rotate? How do I rotate?
So remember control and scroll wheel?
I did not.
Maybe it's
Like
just
that?
Dr. Mario.
Oh, it's Dr. Mario.
Dun, 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 dun. I'm glad you asked. Play this soundtrack.
I finally got to the puzzle theme. I am playing the puzzle theme. I have had this playlist saved for so long. I am playing it.
Old of us to assume we'll ever get past it. You're gonna get sick of it really fast.
It's literally an hour-long playlist.
Well, I'm glad we get to hear the whole thing.
Especially because you guys refuse to use the other pieces.
Yo, what the? Hold on, let me take a closer look at this. Hmm.
Are they all looking at Cecil?
Yeah, are they following me? This is to scale, right?
Yes. It would be to scale, not with like what your people, like your tokens are looking at, no. But if it would be to scale as if like you yourself were looking right at this thing.
Look how big it is.
Okay, while everyone's looking at Cecil, Snickers pulls out one more from her hair.
Is this what you did? Kark looks and goes, "What? You had one in your hair?
God damn it, Snickers.
Oh my god, I miscounted.
Wait,
There
okay,
were-
wait, stop. Hey, how many more do you have? Quick, check the rest of your hair."
You're not gonna shake
Wait,
it out,
wait.
right?
Wait. Okay, so Cecil goes and like helps her check her hair and like slips one from his pocket like into his hand low key. It is like, there's another one in here.
I need a sleight of hand check.
Oh no.
Can I give him? Can I help him?
Yeah, you can help him.
Okay. She like.
Roll 1d6 to be added.
Do I roll it or he does?
You do. Alright, so you're actively helping him do this.
Okay, yeah.
So you notice he's pulling it out of his pocket, and you're like, "Oh yeah, I want you to put it in my hair."
Mm-hmm.
No, she just like lifts another strand like in front of his hand.
So yeah, you are actively helping him with this to frame you, sure.
To frame me.
Kark does not notice.
There's another one. Oh, someone's at my door. Hold on. Sorry.
Ah, no worries.
Another one.
Another one.
I'll let him choose which one he wants to put in.
Meanwhile, Kark goes, "What? I'm sorry, but we really need to just check everything on you now." And he's gonna lift you up, and he's gonna
Don't
shake
touch!
you. How many do you have on you? We need to get up there.
Real, how many do you have?
Why are you assuming I have any?
Because I need to know how many I have in my hair.
What happened?
He's shaking Snickers now to see how many more she has.
And Snickers is asking me how much I have for her to know how much she
I'm
has in her
above-
hair.
Above table, I have. Okay, Cade, how much does Real have?
Like I said, I didn't write those notes.
Oh my god, are they just all in her hair?
I think we
They're not all in her hair. They're in a shared,
Yeah.
storage.
I would say for simplicity's sake that we all split them, right? Like.
Yeah.
Yeah. 333.
3. So I already gave my 3.
No,
And I gave 1.
you gave
you-
3,
we
Cecil gave
Yeah.
1.
I haven't put it in though, because I thought you would want to click which one you wanted to put in.
Cecil, which one would you like being added?
I love purple. Tastes like purple.
Tastes like purple. Congratulations on taking the one with no eyeballs.
Yep.
Put that
All
one
part of
down
the
here.
Wait. Did you hear how he said that, guys? He said eyeballs. There's eyeballs in them. We're figuring it out. That's a hint.
That's a hint.
Okay.
That's one of your 3 hints.
Park's still shaking Snickers, by the way.
Yeah.
Just curious.
And there's none, and he puts her down and goes, I'm sorry,
While
you said you
while
had
he's
one-
doing that,
and then suddenly, 3 more appear. I had to be sure.
I said I had 2, but okay.
while he's doing that, can I have sidestepped and just put one more on top of where this was? Just act like it was
Will
there
be
the whole
another
time.
sleight of hand.
What? He's distracted.
Yeah, can I get?
Yeah, it's
an
gonna be
advantage?
it's gonna be a lower DC, but you're still doing it. You don't just get it for free.
Hmm.
Yeah, and you nat one it. He
Hmm.
definitely saw you pull it out and went, "Wait, do you have some too?"
Now he's gonna shake you.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
I didn't realize these were the containers, and I was too embarrassed to bring it up. So here, I have another one too. So
Okay,
I pull out.
that's okay that you're an idiot.
Snickers smiles. For once, she's not the idiot.
As long as you know now, that's all that matters. We won't chastise you for your idiocy and understanding what a container is.
Just keeps calling me an idiot.
Now,
I'm
please,
not
before
from
you do
around here.
anything more idiotic, put down the other container.
This is the best day.
Just to be clear, these are the containers. He
Yes.
holds them up. Containers.
Yes, those
Okay.
ones. I need them here now.
Okay, here you are.
Thank you. Feel free to draw down your other containers, Hero.
This one? Oh, not that one. Hold on. This one and this one.
Okay. Wonderful. We're only missing 4 now.
4.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute.
Where's Terry?
This math doesn't add up.
3. I meant 3.
Where's Terry?
Real looks
Wait,
at
wait. Actually, no. Yeah, you should have had 9 with the baked-in one, shouldn't you? That's what my notes said.
I have. There's 3 up there.
Oh. I'm gonna be a little bit of a mean person for a second. You don't have this one. Because you did not collect them all.
But I thought we
tell
collected
you that
9
above
and they already had 1 and there's
No,
only
it was
Yeah.
9 including the 1.
Oh.
You see? I wasn't off in math. Damn, y'all made me feel dumb.
I'm so sorry. It was my fault. I'll take the dumb point.
I agree.
One more dumb point added.
Give me the dunce hat.
Okay, here's your done set.
Oh,
You've
thank
always
you.
had it.
Whoa! Why did it zoom in to me?
Oh, you have Panda speaker on right now.
Oh,
You want to go to configure settings.
okay.
And there should be.
I'm unclicking panda tokens.
There you go, Panda token speaker. Yeah, you want that clicked off.
Saving. 'Saving. 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 '
Brill looks up towards where they said Terry would be
Mm-hmm.
level-wise, hoping to see the robot.
To blame him more.
So you start
No!
looking over at levels 50 through 56, and don't see anything there as of yet, but you do hear noises up there. There definitely is something up there, it just hasn't gotten back yet.
Wait. I think I got it.
Waiting.
Sorry. No, I think. And then the wire comes.
I love how Kate is just refusing to try and solve this, and it's just like, Terry? Where's
one
Terry?
I was moving the pieces. I had him, and then Luna just ruined it.
I'm sorry. I thought it was like, what if it's the wires in there? Can I control Z?
Good luck with
There's
that.
not a control Z.
I'm not gonna touch them anymore. You do your thing.
No, please touch them.
Please touch them. They're touch starved.
No.
My love language.
Oh, ooh.
Shaming me. Yo, do you have any ideas?
You mean besides Dr. Mario? Don't we, shouldn't we be worried about that one more that we're missing anyway before we worry about this? Or no?
Yeah.
I mean,
I guess.
Well. Rose just scratching her head.
Snickers is gonna play with these.
It's at that
Yeah.
moment that you hear the staircases moving, realigning themselves, bringing themselves up to the top, and Rill, you watching out as finally sees this silhouette appear, come down the steps, and pretty broken and worse for wear, it shambles in.
Its name is.
oh, there you are, Terry.
Hello, you three. Terry has one. And Terry powers down in front of you.
Great. How are we supposed to get a reward now?
Can we loot him?
Ro runs over
Oh
to
my
Terry,
fucking god.
trying to find the power button. Maybe he still has some juice in him.
Look for the glove box while you're at it.
Juice in 'em. Whoa. Look for the glove. Shit. Cade, can you roll an intelligence check for me?
Yeah, one sec.
Accidentally opened the combat HUD for the piece.
You can just turn the combat HUD off.
I was trying to open my stuff.
A 15. Okay. With a 15, you sort of like rumble around bits of his body, not really able to find the on switch, but it seems you've shoved enough things back in their place that it almost like emergency started him on. And you're gonna see his light glow from its soft incandescent orange to an intense glaring blue, and you're gonna hear knock knock Ox protocol Ox protocol objective Terry tech. And that's when he is gonna flash back to its regular incandescent orange. He'll look to you three as if nothing had happened. Well met, humans. This one is back. Not exactly a pleasure seeing you three again, but I am
Oh.
back.
What?
Hey, I just saved you.
This unit would have been fine. This unit has been fine on its own before.
You tell yourself that, but
This unit was in the middle of a brawl between wooden-like machinations when they powered down suddenly. This unit took it as a free moment to explore the upper floors, as suggested by researcher Kark. While
you
up
find
there,
any?
this unit did not find what it came here for, but it did find a container.
Rogue claps her hands together. Perfect.
Here, for my end of the bargain, researcher Kark. One container. This unit is unfortunate. Sad, even, that it did not find what it came here for. That it did not find any companions to really come out with. But this unit will find a way. Goodbye.
Are we...
Goodbye.
Wait, no, Terry.
And
Stay
you see him, and you see him starting to lumber away.
Terry, come here.
He does not hear you as you're saying that. Are you gonna speak up?
Terry's narrating himself.
You still have the voice mod on.
Hello. Terry does not hear you.
Oh.
Are you gonna speak up?
Yeah, Terry.
Yes. Small horned one.
She goes by Squirrel.
Oh,
User-
you mother.
User update. Squirrel.
No!
What do you want?
Terry, I want to tell you I'm sorry. I didn't think that you would end up like this because of us.
You see, okay, sorry. I was maybe a little too quick as I first came with this, so I'm also gonna actually describe it just a little bit. When Terry came down, he was missing half an arm. Part of his chassis, that top left part you see on his art, that has almost been completely ripped off. And a couple of the pipes are just free-flowing air, like being jettisoned out of them due to their leaky connections. He's definitely not in a good state. And as you say that, you see him just sort of stand there, rumbling, almost like on idle, as he processes it before his light lights up again. Apology accepted.
Give him a hug.
Apology not yet forgiven, however.
Terry, I know this isn't much, and she takes out the iron spike that she has, and it's like, I don't know if you can use this, but I mean, it seems like material that you could use.
Yes. This can be used for amalgamation, grafting, and commence. Please, hand it over.
Okay, she gives both of them over to him.
My thanks. This
How can
is a good gesture. This unit will ensure to remember it in its memory banks. User Squirrel, will you be staying here for the foreseeable future?
He's asking you out.
Oh my god. I don't know, Terry. I hope to get out of this.
Terry. Terry. And you're gonna see his light starts flashing between red and blue again, for a little bit. Before it finally ends on blue. This unit designation, Nox. Terry
objective. This unit requires assistance in this unit's objective and is looking for that assistance. Does user Squirrel have that assistance?
Ask him what the objective is.
I just want you to know that every time that he gets serious, I'm like, oh no, I have this like, oh, I'm so worried about you. And then he says squirrel and my whole face just fucking drops. Oh, god damn it, hero. What? Terry, what is your objective?
Objective. Objective is Terry. Terry is unit's objective. Rescue. Find. Users. Units. Goal. Objective. Currently in status for 1,678 years, 42 days, 12 hours.
Terry, I feel like we have not treated you well. I feel like you've tried to assist us. If we make it out of this, then yeah, I'll help you.
Assistance acknowledged. Assistance grateful for in terms of others. This unit will be in nearby town for 1 week as it amalgamates and grafts itself back up to usable condition. If this unit sees user Squirrel in that week, it will approach, and hopefully terms can be set.
Its eyes are gonna flash back to orange suddenly, and it will look around as if it sort of been out of sorts for a bit.
This unit did not say anything untoward, did it? This unit, unfortunately, has some blackouts. Terry model, not the best after certain uses.
You know what, Terry? That makes sense. It's okay. We're fine. I think you should go and restore yourself.
Real
Understood.
pats Terry's arm, the one that's missing half of his arm. I'm sorry, Terry. You deserve rest.
Terry. Terry.
Okay, you guys are hitting like some certain keywords with these things now. His eyes are gonna flash back to blue at that point.
Unit Knox cannot rest. User is still out there. User Terry. No rest until objective complete. This unit will leave now. Goodbye.
And his
Bye,
eyes
Terry.
will you're gonna see them sort of like being spasming between this orange and this blue for a bit before it finally sort of like locks itself into a pattern or into a path, turns around and starts walking away. And I need to roll one thing as a private. Okay, it does happen. And it as certain as it seems that Terry is just walking away, and has finished its business. At one moment, you'll see the upper chassis rotate 180 degrees as it continues walking, and with its one remaining arm, it will lift it up and wave goodbye.
Oh my god, like the Breakfast Club?
Never seen that before.
Sort of. It basically like is continuing to walk away as it turns around, waves goodbye, and then its eyes flash back to blue, and it locks itself back in its path, turning around. And then it is not seen again.
Real waves. Bye, Terry. See you soon.
You guys really pulled a 180 on this robot storyline.
Never hated Terry.
I hate that fucking guy.
Nick has never hated Terry.
And that's
Gotta
all
find
of the
him
story
afterwards
you
for my
get to
reward.
learn.
Oh my god.
You don't get a reward.
Oh, I will.
I will. Just you wait and see.
Oh,
how I
I'll get that
will.
arm.
I'll get that arm.
Why take his arm when you can take his hand?
Why take his hand when I can take his life?
What?
I was gonna say hand in marriage, but that went very dark.
My reward, Terry, is your life.
Oh god. Till death do us part.
And I'm parting now.
Oh my god.
Real puts her. What? Wait, are Snickers and Cecil like on each side of Real, or is Real like to the left of both of them?
Up to you. How do you want to be placed between them?
Okay, I'll just walk behind them then, because I'm assuming I'm to the far left or right, and then puts my Real's hand on each of their shoulders and says, "Guys, what if Terry is also, you know, like containing a soul?"
I feel like Terry isn't what he's saying he is, because he kept saying Unit Knox, finding user Terry.
Maybe he's searching for his real body.
Oh, that's so sad. It's like a full metal
Maybe.
battle person.
Full Metal Battle person.
Love that.
That's a
anime.
good series. Love that series.
Yeah, he actually has a brother, has a robotic arm.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
My face. I just saw the Discord. Every time Terry says squirrel. You never even corrected him. That's the best part.
I tried. I was like, wait, no. And it just kept going. And I'm like, oh god. This is my life. Oh, if Cecil's a lord of anything, it's of nicknames.
It's the Lord of all.
Nicknames.
If it exists, I am Lord of it.
Oh my god.
Okay, so since Terry gave a piece, would you guys do the honors of dragging the piece in, or putting it in, I should say?
That was so difficult.
Incredible.
Thank you. Takes skill.
It takes skill. Truly.
Rill straightens up, looks around, trying to find, to see if she can find Vubin.
Man, you
Where's
guys are really
Ruben?
doing anything you can to not solve a puzzle. Okay.
No, I'm trying to do something. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you see Vubin.
Where is he? Far away, or like he's within ear?
He's decently far.
What is that doing?
I don't know.
He's fumbling with his fingers. He's got his fingers in a Chinese trap, and he's like, ah, damn it. Like, one of these again.
He's been going over some paperwork.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I said that when he first went off to his corner.
Oh, okay.
Hey, so you guys want to check out this town next to the tower? I hear they got pretty good mead.
Oh my god.
No, okay, so Real turns back, faces Clark, and says, I don't.
Yes?
Okay, hang on.
Have you solved the puzzle?
Before I say anything, hang on. What the hell am I supposed to try and convince this guy with my terrible persuasion?
Well, just because you have terrible persuasion doesn't mean you'll roll bad, right?
Yeah,
I've already
it's just your
started
modifier.
rolling bad.
If you just roll a natural 20, you'll be fine.
Just roll.
Just
roll a 20, Cade. It's not hard.
It's
Well,
one of
that
20
pressure.
options.
Not if you're good. It's the only option.
True.
You rolled a nat 1.
Yeah, on
Yeah.
purpose.
Sus.
I get
wanted
experience
my-
for missing. Oh, wait, wrong game.
Oh, wait, wrong game.
Say I have one more. And we're
Man,
missing
you were right,
one.
Cecil. You guys are at 30 minutes of your 60-minute playlist.
I'm pretty excited.
Oh my god, Dr. Mario's about to play.
Hell yeah. That's my real goal. Fuck it, you know what? I'm putting it on for myself. It'll help me.
Uh-huh. Sure will.
Anyways, Real is looking at Clark and says, hang on, 6, 7, 8. I have a 9th one, but in exchange, since Vubin's over there, I need to know why he's interested in this tower. Excuse me.
I'm bargaining.
You have a container,
1.
and you're actively not using it.
I mean, I'd like to know.
I need to get to the top of that tower. You will give me the container now.
Real puts it far away from him, hiding it behind her back. Why do you need to get up to the top of the tower?
Are you trying to... Okay, this is going to be your choice. You either roll intimidation or persuasion.
Well, persuasion. Fuck intimidation. I'm gonna die.
I think you should do both. You should intimidatedly persuade. I can say words.
19, okay.
Oh, that was good. See, you're almost there to 20.
But it's
20,
not.
no.
So I
this
get to
isn't
do whatever
20.
I want instead. No. Okay, you roll a 19 for this. He's You saved my daughter. You saved Shenhua. You saved Shenhua. Don't just let yourself calm down for a second. And you're gonna hear him pace, or you're gonna see him pace for a quick second as he tells this to himself, before his head snapbacks to you. The top of that tower is how I repay my debt to him. The top of that tower is what, if things go well, makes Genwa get her arms back.
Debt, you say?
Yes, debt.
Hold on. 1, 5, 6, 9, 10. There. 10 gold should do it.
What is this 10 gold for? And why is 3-3 speaking?
Save me!
Oh no!
Help!
The eyes! They're alive! Kill them, quick!
Fix me.
Finish the goddamn puzzle. When the puzzle finishes, I get to finally die. What is this 10 gold for?
To help pay off your debt.
Okay. While
My
Clark-
debt is not based in gold.
But I'm really gonna make a show of this. Of like, wait, how is he like facing in comparison to like the thing with the eyeballs?
Since you guys are at the center puzzle tower, I would say that he is more outside of it than you, so he's facing the tower and is thus facing the eyeballs. Or the center pillar. He's facing center.
I'm gonna try to like how do I phrase this? Like I'm gonna extend my arm out in like a side hug kind of situation and say, here, let's talk about it. I have more gold, and try to like nonchalantly point him away from the center.
Okay, quickly while he's doing that, Real go shit. I didn't mean to click that.
Real is not gonna go shit. Yeah.
No.
Can Rill go shit? Yeah, Rill can go shit.
Yeah.
There's a corner over there. It's pretty empty.
It's
I heard there's someone bed over there too. You can shit in if you want.
Yeah, I was gonna say this stream is brought to you by Amber Heard.
Sheesh.
Am not a psycho.
I'm not a psycho. Why'd you poop on the bed, Amber? Why'd you poop on it?
What are you,
Anyway.
Bill Cosby?
No, did you
Okay.
see that? And she left the trial, and there was like a crazy fan going, "Why'd you poop on the bed, Amber? Why'd you
No, I
poop on it?" And Amber just
I-
like it couldn't stop herself from snickering as she walked away because it was just so insane.
I didn't know. I haven't seen that one.
Anyways, while
You know the
while Euro is trying to talk with Clark, Real is rummaging through her bag to find Vubin's journal.
What?
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 Yeah, that's the thing she has, isn't it?
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Wow, I forgot you actually picked that up.
What is
Wow, your
that
loot goblin
sound?
came in handy.
Oh my god.
Praise me more.
Praise me.
more. Okay, we'll deal with you in a second, Rill. I'm going to first handle the Cecil situation.
Okay, I'm just rummaging.
Oh, the eyeball
Oh.
says praise the fish.
Before he, like, as he's walking away, Snickers is like, oh, pats herself and like takes out a gold coin and is like, here you go, 1 gold.
11 gold. And Cecil takes it and kind of offers it to Clark.
He's gonna be like, I said my debt is not based in gold. Please, I would rather not be in multiple debts.
Listen, Clark. This isn't a debt thing, Clark. Listen, Kirk. This isn't a debt thing. This is a gift. Okay? Look, you don't need to be embarrassed about this. I get it. Debt, money. It's hard to talk about when you're poor. I get it. All right.
God.
But, and like, Cecil's taking like furtive glances behind him occasionally just to like check to see what's going on and hoping Fish will put eyeball in pedestal.
But Fish
But
is
he
rummaging through bag.
God damn it. So Cecil will keep going. He just says, look, I'm just saying take it. Please. Just consider it a gift.
Can you roll persuasion for me?
No.
Okay.
16.
16. Okay. He's going to take it, and he's going to say, "Thank you, I appreciate it, but this gold does not repay my debt to him.
Do you need more?
No, it is not gold-based. He did things for me, and my debt is to now do things for him."
I changed my gold, by the way, so I have 10 less.
Okay, thank you.
So you need to do things for him to repay the debt?
Yes.
Is
Getting
the
to the
action
top
of
of that
paying
tower.
gold one of those things?
No, it is getting to the top of that tower.
How much gold would it take to buy someone up that tower? Is it just out of reason? Can't put a price on that? There's some things money can't buy.
There's some things money can't buy, yeah.
For everything else?
What do you mean for everything else?
There's MasterCard.
Is there a
There's-
card of the Masters that you have here?
Yes. Sorry, it's a joke from back home. I apologize. Well, anyway,
Maybe you're a
I'll,
lord or something. Yeah, it's probably some. I'm not bred well for that kind of joke.
oh, it's all right. I know. Anyway, let's go back.
Sure. Thank you
His
for the
debt's
gold.
good now, guys. He's got the 11 gold.
Let me change my gold.
Vubin looks up.
Oh shit! No, wait. I thought he was
What?
far away. Shouldn't he be out of earshot? Come
You went
on.
back and went, "Hey, don't worry, guys. That's not talking. That's shouting."
It's my voice. I always shout.
He's gonna look up and go, What was that, Kark?"
Oh yeah, he owed me a debt before. No big deal. We got it paid off.
Yeah, I owed him some gold, but it's all settled now, sir. Good. You don't need to be owing anyone else anything. Now, Kark, how's that system going? Has it been fixed yet? No, sir. We're still working on it. It'll be set up soon. Good.
Oh.
He goes back to his corner. 3-3 is meanwhile still very scared.
3-3 is mom.
He looks to you 3 and goes, "Please, I need to get to the top of that tower."
What is Fish doing in the meantime?
Just
Fish
looking
was
for the
looking
journal.
through, her bag, which
Fish
Kark's
finds
gonna say
journal.
is one thing of, "Please, I need to get to the top of the tower for more reasons than you know, more than I could possibly actually share with you. Just whatever it takes for us to get there, I will gladly pay that price, if not more.
11
need-
gold.
I need to get up there, and I need to make sure that what happens up there is what needs to happen. You are welcome to come with us. In fact, we could probably use your help once we're up there. We can explain it all once we're there, but for now, we need to just secure a system before the tower finishes.
What?
For my calculations, we have about 9 hours left before this tower will be done. What's
Take you
happening?
up on that offer.
I'm sorry. What you guys were like laughing as I was saying like that truth bomb. What was going on? Did something
I'm
happen?
sorry. Stickers is having an out-of-body experience, I
Yeah.
guess. Or
So I
maybe
have-
Real is.
I have Snickers token selected, but when I type, it's real.
Oh my god, you guys.
Wow, you guys
Only
really just
one
fucked everything up
each.
on your. I should really only ever give you guys one thing to control at a time, huh?
I'd like to say it's not me.
I'm gonna leave it at the mommy. I'm scared.
But I just want to know that I'm the only real. I'm the only fish.
Yes,
Oh,
you're the only
yeah.
fish.
Actually, I'm a mimic.
Will the real shady
Okay.
please stand up?
Rill, you were looking through Vubin's journal, correct?
I was looking through my bag for it. Yeah.
You found it.
Yes.
You have Vubin's
Yeah.
journal.
Now I'm going through it for any information I can learn on Vubin or what his goals are,
Does he
if
keep
he wrote
stuff
any.
in his journal?
I don't know.
You
You
want to
have it,
look through his
let's
whole journal and see all of his goals.
Skim through his journal.
And
Dear
so,
diary, today I found a cool rock.
Dear diary, today I'm taking over the world.
And oh my god, Kark, he's gonna help me, because he's my biatch.
He's gonna help me. And it's written
Girl
down in the
boss.
journal. Ha ha ha. Gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss.
wow.
Snap, snap, snap.
It's a doodle of him snapping.
Poor Clark.
And Kark's just on all fours in front of him.
Oh.
Oh god, he's cruising for a Vubin.
Okay. You're looking through the journal for some stuff.
They have dates written on them.
You would see at least one section, first off, that would catch your eye on the formation of soul bullets.
Oh, what?
And a process that he pioneered where he grinds people's souls into bullets. And the etheric composition of any soul can change what that bullet does. In fact, Vubin was the one who invented the pistol. So that would be one thing that sticks out to you, as he would have been bragging about that for at least a couple pages, and how he brought honor to the White Hats for that. He would have then, right afterwards, talked about how he convinced the Grand Mask of Brador to let him set up shop in a central town where he was putting this into practice, where people were being kidnapped and he was grinding them up into soul bullets. But at one point, part of the deal was that some of these souls, instead of soul bullets, would be transformed into artificial masks.
Oh my
To which later on you would see another chapter on talking about creating artificial masks. Some of his scientific notes on how he figured it out, on how he had been analyzing something scribbled down in there of natural masks of the smile, and copying their etheric resonance, as well as figuring out how to link them to a central server, to have locked permissions on them that could be controlled by the Grand Mask at any time, the Veil Lords, until eventually those notes sort of stop, sputter out, with a final footnote saying, "Damn, adventurers brought the whole thing down. Have to relocate.
What
We got-
adventures.
We got as much as we could, but we're gonna have to set up shop somewhere else. Brador is probably too dangerous right now. Maybe going back to Zurunta will help." Then, later on, you wouldn't see much pertaining to anything in particular itself, but you would see him mentioning in his journal that he got a new client. A new client that would still let him siphon off some more etheric resonance, some more etheric, or aether, to practice with his etheric resonance, and develop new ammunition for the White Hats. That he was bringing a new recruit that he helped out beforehand. And this was going to be her first mission. That
Genoa.
they had to go to a tower and secure something for this client, this lord. But that if he did, it'd be a big payday for the White Hats. And that this girl could finally prove her usefulness It was time for a debt to be repaid.
This.
Hang on, sorry, I'm writing all this down.
Me too.
Okay, I'm done.
This is the fun part about playing with living characters, because I just told you basically just the whole plot of another campaign that happened.
That happened, yeah. Like, what adventures was it?
I can, above board, sure, yeah, I can tell you. It was the All Daggers campaign, right before they became the All Daggers campaign. Back when it was the Second Smile.
Okay. Oh my god, when it's the second smile, because he was trying to be this. Okay.
Yeah, it would have been cool to finish that story. But it didn't.
Now we're here. Imagine
we're
being
here.
stuck in a tower. Well, guess what? You're finding out a lot.
Wait, so second, I mean, above table question in
Yeah.
regards to the second smile, because you had to restart it, did most of those events still happen? Are you keeping
All the
them?
events that happened. I just
Okay.
didn't get to finish the stories of those events, which puts me into this weird situation of unfinished stories. And you're meeting characters that have unfinished plot lines.
There's so many.
Oh, so that means we could further. Okay,
Yes.
damn.
Yeah, but we have like.
Sort of like real life. You go out to do a thing and it got fucked up in some way, but you're still living. You're still going to do stuff related to it. So,
Yeah. Like errands.
like errands.
Like when you go do grocery shopping, but then you see a boba place on the way, and you're like, well, I have to go get boba.
Have to go get boba.
Yeah, super relatable.
But now it's been half a year later, and now you're still going, hey, I still need to get those errands.
Oh no, I still need that boba. I haven't gotten that boba.
Have you finished with those errands?
You finish those errands?
Errands?
Finish those errands?
Hey, Squidward.
It's good. Or when you have a list of errands and you just get stopped by the DMV.
What?
Anyway,
Did the DMV pull you over or what?
well, no, you had to like go to the DMV for something, and then they're like, "Oh, we need these 2 forms," and you have to go back to your home, and then you
Just
go back.
don't
to the DMV.
go, lol.
You're right.
Lol.
All my GTA experience outrunning the police. Now it's time to use it.
Yeah.
Whoop, whoop.
Okay.
But yeah, you would have seen all of that in the journal if you were just skimming it.
Do you tell us?
So Rill, having skimmed and seeing it, basically Reuben is bad. Reuben is in the was possibly in cahoots with Turkoff and other unknown clientele, and has some sort of connection in Brador that provides him those souls. She settles on the pages where he's mentioning. Hang on.
Well, that Brador connection. If you didn't catch it before, it's okay. I can say it again. He very much mentioned the Veil Lord of Brador,
Yeah.
Right.
And
Oh,
the
I put
Veilords are the
mask.
ones.
Sorry.
the guy who hired you.
Yeah, and the Veilords are the ones giving out the artificial masks.
They are,
Well, this helps me a lot.
or at
Yep.
least the Veil Lord of Brador is.
And then, hang on. So Rill wants to settle specifically on the pages that mention girl.
Girl.
The girl.
You see pages
Giles.
mention Gorl, and he goes, I got a bit of a crush.
Oh, no.
No, he doesn't.
I hope not.
She's not my type.
He's not my type. Okay, you will see, for the pages mentioning the girl, you would see him discussing that the White Hats had needed a new member for a while. Their numbers had been thinning. And that the White Hats needed to take action for it. That being said, it's not exactly like they could advertise that they were looking for new members, being a more secret organization. But they could always press some people into service. They just needed people to fill up the ranks, not be full-on agents like themselves. And they could just see where it goes from there. So, what is it that, to his surprise, he would see in the middle of one of the war zones over in the Grand Commonwealth during Bredor's invasion? A girl scattered about on the battlefield, her limbs strewn about, a man kneeling over her, crying and begging for anyone to help. That he would come up and that he would offer his services for a deal to be paid back. Of course, the man accepts, just begging for anything to be done now. And Vubin practices some of his aetherological research. She had only had one arm astrone at first, but in order for this spell to work, in order for her to become a true wide hat, things have to be taken in pairs. He would take out his revolver, aim it at her shoulder, and it was one that could split apart and make sure that it severed an entire limb. A few moments later, some cauterized shoulders and a new hat on her, she had now joined the White Hats and had been healed up. Vubin, for all of his destructive tendencies and study on people, still knows exactly how to patch them up so they can still function and work. And this was one of the situations he did here. He also writes down in the journal that through the terror the man was screaming and shouting, he bestowed upon him a mask. That her hat wouldn't work without him. That her arms wouldn't work without his supplied ether to continue her. It's hard living in a body that naturally wants to seep out its own ether once it's been sundered. When you have a small cut, sure, that can heal up. When you lose an entire limb, it's harder for the ether to stay inside. Harder for the soul to not start finding ways to seep out. And so when those parts go missing, or when it needs the boost of having its aether arms come from the hat, it would be supplied by her father, who wanted so much to help her. That mask is a steady drain of ether that it will slowly kill him if he does not constantly resupply it. But in the midst of their despair, he offered them their one deal. Get him to the top of the tower for his current assignment. And they would have as much ether as that they could take to hopefully bring her arms back. Enough ether that could suffuse her own body. Bring it back, and it would no longer be an aetherological drain on the father. There's another part in this that you read of the reason he was even in the Grand Commonwealth in the Bredorian War, was that he was figuring out any Zuruntan agents that had been set to cause conflict between Bredor and the Grand Commonwealth. The father happened to be one of those agents and had been forced to bring his daughter along. The daughter, trying to stay as a civilian, had unfortunately been caught in crossfire between all of this as war erupted in the streets. And he had to forego his secrecy for this in the first place. So he already thought he was fucked from the get-go when Vubin came up. He thought he was just going to straight up die. But Vubin took this as an opportunity instead for everything he had done, as well as to secure his new client over in Zurunta. And that's about all you would have read from his journal about the girl.
So as Rill, was reading through it, her eyes widening on key points, and then when she settled on the last couple interesting pages involving the girl, putting two and two together, she realizes she now knows why they're both here and are essentially held hostage. She rips out the last two. Is it the last couple pages?
It'd be the last couple pages, yeah.
Okay, she rips out the last couple pages and that detail the Kark and Genoa's deal and situation made with Ruben. Hands it to Cecil to let him see, and stuffs the other the journal back into her backpack. Cecil, you might, and Snickers, you might want to take a look at that.
So she's letting us look at the journal except for the pages, or just the pages? that she wrote
Just
out?
the pages.
The pages.
Okay.
Hmm.
And then while they're doing that, Rill brings forward the one container she was mentioning to Kark and says, I know what Ruben's been doing and what he's done. We're not here to help him. We're here to stop this. And seeing as the reason why we were sent, I'm wanting a truce between us, and hands him the container, the one container.
You know why we're here?
Yes.
Then you understand
And-
what's at stake.
I do. And I'm sure you know why we're here.
I do. I'm part of the actions of my debt were to gather intel on this land beforehand. I had been in Alpaluk beforehand, and I had seen you three go inside. I know that probably here on orders from Vale Lord Rallo. And I have surmised enough that Rallo would want this place either destroyed or would want all the Aether at the top for himself. What are you going to do, though?
Me fish? No, just kidding.
Me, fish? I just want to swim. Loot, please.
Superfish! Superfish, take all the Aether!
Glub glub.
World explodes.
Ultra fish.
She just snaps and half the population goes.
Well, fuck. What is this? Evangelion? The third impact?
I love that you went that way instead of Marvel.
Me too.
I don't
This is
know
why
any
you're my
Marvel
bestie.
movies.
I never
Sorry.
played Marvels as a kid.
Marbies.
You never did Moncala?
I
Love
did.
Moncala.
I love Moncala.
I love it too. Yeah, it's a good game.
He does look at you though and say, if that's all you know, what do you plan to do?
I can't speak for everybody here, and she kind of like does a soft jerk back, pointing at Snickers and Cecil. But knowing now what I know and what they're about to find out,
He looks over and sees them reading the pages, and their eyes widening as it gets to the arm being blown off, and he's going,
I will not be. Supporting Rallo or this thing. She points at her mask on her hip.
Oh, I have a question for Kate.
Yeah.
Would you give us the pages about the how Rallo is involved with Vubin as well? Because I was under the impression that it was just about Genoa and about Vubin finding Kark and taking advantage of him.
Oh shit. I meant to rip out those 3 pages, but I just didn't.
if you want to, you can. It's
Yeah.
what do you want to give? Do you want to give them
Yeah.
all the information, or do you want to hold some back?
I want to hold back the soul grinding, the soul bullets and the artificial mask, because they'll get enough of it from new client lets him siphon and practice that, and then the Genoa thing, they'll be up to par.
So we'll know that Rallo was involved with him.
Yeah, because it'll
Okay.
say
But you won't know the particulars of what he did while
Ye-
working for Rallo.
Okay. Just knowing that he was like probably funded or sponsored by the guy.
Uh-huh.
Okay, cool.
And then, sorry, where were we? Oh, you were pointing at the mask on your hip.
Yeah.
He looks at it and goes, "Those things have been nothing but a nightmare to deal with. Thank you. I'm also... Look, I know how this still looks in the end. Even should I get my way, we will be preying upon a lost people and destroying an entire world's worth of souls. But if it gives me any chance to get my daughter back to how she was before, to pull her out of this nightmare that I brought her into, I have to take that chance."
how does one console a grieving father?
That's rough,
Th-
buddy.
This is an above table thing.
Well, put him out of
hug?
his misery. Oh,
That is one way.
Jesus! I almost spit out my snack.
If he's
Well-
dead, he can't grieve.
yep.
This
I think
mask
we should make
is...
sure.
sorry. And were you going to do something?
No, I was gonna above the table. I was gonna tell Kate. I think you should make a deal with him to tell him not to go against us. Like, if whatever happens up there, not to interfere.
He,
Sounds like a threat.
as you think over that, he will mention, this mask has been such a drain on me, but also it has given things. It has opened my eyes in various ways. I can see how Aether flows. I can see where it congregates. It has helped a lot in the accessing of this tower and even finding it in the first place. With all of the Aether that was required to travel through the vast expanses of space, the other planar dimensions, before landing here like a comet. If you saw what I did, those couple weeks ago, a giant flash of ether descending through the sky as a comet to a meteor, to its impact seen thousands of miles away. It was beautiful. And even though it's being perverted in its sense now, to be used for ill-begotten gains, there are still things this mask has shown me that I'm grateful for. I've also heard voices, an echo coming throughout, an odd poem that I don't quite understand. I don't know what it means, and I don't know if I'm supposed to make sense of it. But it does make me wonder if what I'm doing will be remembered kindly by Genoa. She does not know exactly what will be done at the top of the tower. She only knows that there is Aether, that there is a person coming, and that it could possibly bring her arms back. She does not know that we aim to grind them up before they have fully formed, that we aim to use them. She thinks that letting Hermund finish forming, bringing all of the souls into this world, that he will be able to grant a boon. Just don't enlighten her, please. Don't let her know about the next sin that I'm going to commit for her.
Wouldn't you be hurting her more by keeping her in the dark?
If it is between that and her having to live in the service of the Wide Hats with no true collection of her former self, I will take that one extra sin.
This is heavy.
Yeah. I'm telling you, how am I gonna convince somebody not to freaking do it? Because what if it doesn't work? Oh god.
Maybe he can just stay down here controlling the machine so he doesn't have to get involved.
Okay, let's see if that helps. I can do everything I can within my power to help Genoa as much as possible in my understanding of the etheric essence. Maybe it'd be best if you stayed behind handling the machine so that it can guarantee we can all make it out successfully. And maybe not Vubin though, but you know.
I have to. The only one who will be able to perform the correct spells to weave that aether would be Vubin.
But he's staying, right?
I must be there with him. I have to bring him to the top.
Look, we want this to be a win-win for everybody. We don't.
This will never be a win-win for everybody.
I know.
I hate this story.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
I killed the gargoyle for this.
Yeah, you did.
Are more forks in the road?
Shoot. Crap.
Mhm.
We're trying. No. We want the best for everybody, and right now.
Besides Vubin.
Right. The best for everybody.
I think the best would be to send him to, I don't know, his death.
Ruben?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. I'm trying to convince Kark not to.
No, sorry, that
himself-
was above table.
Yeah, but I'm saying like I'm trying to convince him.
Yeah.
Like fuck Vubin, but you know I don't know if it's guaranteed either Genoa or him absorbing all this ether will help. Ether will help.
Just because you are bad guy does not make you bad guy.
Basically.
I mean, besides the fact that Vubin is the only one that knows the research of how to restore her actual limbs, what else would you have me do? Trust Genoa that we should let her Hermund form? That by letting him form, he will just give us some of the aether, that he would be able to somehow know of a way to restore people to their true selves?
Genoa knows the possibility of potentially getting her arms back. But what if she would rather prefer being with you, healthy, and out of not having to deal with the white hats, even if that means not having her arms?
For as long as she does not have her arms, she will need a steady supply of ether through her entire life donated to her.
Snickers raises her hands. Can she not be like Terry?
No.
Like Terry.
Yeah, you know, can she not have robot arms instead of magic arms? Boop, 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 boop.
We have never grafted mechanical limbs before. One of the reasons why we were here was we were hoping to gather Turkoth's notes on how puppets were constructed to see if we could possibly correct Turkoth's mistakes and build wooden arms for her. But we didn't have the notes for that, so we continue on with the first strategy.
But now you do. We gave you some of the.
We have some of the notes on how puppets are constructed, yes, but there is still the issue that I brought up beforehand. Wood is an imperfect substance. It leaks ether. It must be refined. It must be perfected.
Well,
And
why
we
not use?
have but
why not
9
use
hours
metal?
before the tower is complete.
Well, why not use metal like Terry? Or copper? Actually, no. Terry looks very broken. Don't use copper. Use something stronger than copper.
Okay, above table.
Mhm.
What the Smiles tome? What is that?
Do you have that too?
Yes, I do, ma'am.
What the hell?
Yeah, she picked up a couple of things.
Why are they all in this tower?
They were not in the tower. She picked up the Smiles tome beforehand, I believe.
No, it was in the tower.
It was in the tower? Oh, I know which part of the tower. Yes. Okay. As an above table thing, there were some things from the second Smile campaign from when it died that got moved over to the Silent Echo Tower. In lore, it is because some of the bricks this tower is being formed with may happen to be from an underground dungeon where people were being sacrificed that you guys might be right on top of.
If only we'd gone to the town.
But yes, okay, you want the Smiles tome?
Well, I'm just trying to figure out because
Do you wanna
mentioned
read it?
No, I really don't.
I want to read it.
Because I can
I'm
read
really
it out
sad.
to you if you want.
All right, might as well gather as much info. Okay.
So you're stopping this conversation?
Yeah. But I know it won't apply right now. But
So wait, are you stopping the conversation, or are you having like the conversation on pause, or?
conversation on pause to learn this above table.
Got you. Okay, what I need to do here. I need to pull up some things.
Jesus, you're really a treasure trove.
Yeah. Excuse me.
No.
Oh, well, okay. Okay, the Smile Stone will open, and on the first page, you will. Ow. A poem writes onto the Smile Stone in dried blood. A wake of devastation will not be tolerated. A threat without foundation must be eradicated. We defend our own existence from evil's fiery persistence. For if our spirits falter, we face the smiling altar. Masks of power, heed my words of warning. When the past collides and futures fall down, in a pit of hell, we'll all surely drown. In damnation, smoldering in cremation, our spirits guide us through the darkness to our own shadow. Spirits guide us through the fire to a soul of our own. You will then see a diagram of a smiling altar, a large granite tablet the size of one of the largest dinner tables you've seen, an inscription of runes surround it, all inlaid of a toothy, wide-grinned smile. You will see diagrams of various masks seen throughout the ages, dates written next to them, other names put down near them, scratched out, some torn out. These diagrams are of masks you have not seen, save for one. Oh, sorry, no, not that one.
Oh,
Nope. I have too many people in my theater, so I have to remove some. There we go. One that has been written in these pages before. One that rests on the hip of a young, half-gnome Yol that sits next to you. 3 names stand next to that. 2 have been crossed out, scribbled. Dates next to them, with the most recently scribbled out ending just a week before, and a fresh name written in it that says Snickers. The rest of this tome details other masks of power, others who have been enshrined within the Smiles tome, all connected with the poem at the beginning, written in its dried, stained blood. You feel it sticking to yourself. Even though none of it comes off on you, you feel as if the words themselves have been written inside your own blood. As you hear a soft "You found its home."
In Real's head, she says, "Buzz off."
Why should I do that when you have what is mine?
That is my tome to hold in your hands. I'm fine if you would like to keep it for now. But if you're that interested, you could just learn the information from those who penned it.
Well, aren't we in a pickle? Is there more in regards to the other masks that might stand out?
Anything you would like to know about those masks of power. Those notes are redacted in various sections, censored in case others pick it up. But all that information is still readily available, should you wish to make the tome yours.
To who do I have the honor of speaking with?
My apologies, dear. Let me introduce myself. If you could, please put on your mask before you. Then, you're not getting anything from me either.
And
What
at
a
that moment,
shame.
you will see the rest of the tome being scribbled over, censored in real time before you, all of its information being blacked out.
What a dick.
I'll just take what's mine then.
Snickers.
And the
With,
page continues to black out. Are you going to do anything?
I'm just gonna close the book.
Wow, you really do not talk to demons.
Hell no.
Anyone that doesn't give you exactly all the information of everything you want, you're like, nope, I don't care, take it all away then.
Respectable.
I'll come back.
Yeah. Couldn't be me.
You'll come back? It's all being blacked out.
Well, whiteout
Well,
exists.
Yeah, I'm sure if he's oh my god, I'm sure if he's redacting it, he can
Redact it.
yeah. He's able to manipulate it somehow, so
Know this. This will be the final time we talk. I'm not one to come begging back for people who've shown that they do not want me.
He's bluffing.
This will be our final chat, and you will never hear from me again.
It's a bluff.
A good life to me, and I'll enjoy watching it all burn around you.
Girl closes the book and looks at Snickers with concerned eyes.
Tilts her
Luna.
head, confused. What? I mean, this guy's pretty sucks. Boobin.
Oh, hang on, I need to write it.
Oh,
note
did
down.
you get it?
Meanwhile, Kark is still looking at you.
Hang on, sorry, I'm writing notes. I forgot the last bit.
Oh, this won't work. Never mind.
Yeah, because it's the wires. Did you think it's the wires too?
No, I was trying to make the S.
What was the last thing I was telling Clark before I got distracted with the smile stone?
Yeah, you're
you
literally
were
like in the
telling-
middle of a sentence. You're like, oh, what's this book?
You said you were telling him that
Well-
he should stay behind, and he said, "No, I can't. I have to go up there with him." And you said, "Well, would Genoa really want you to commit a sin? for her, and he's like, if it keeps her alive and out of the service of the Wide Hats, then I'll gladly take another sin on for her.
Okay.
After that, I don't remember.
Okay.
That's pretty much where you guys were.
So this is how it happened. Mid conversation with Kark, it clicked in her head, wait a minute, I have a Smiles tome. She thought she could get information from it, but not wanting to make a deal with eerie voices, lost her chance, but found out that her mask is connected to the tome, considering the mask said it was their tome, and Snickers is sounds to be fucked, you know? And so real
Another plot line. I'm taking a side quest. Fuck you.
anyways, and then Real looks back at Kark and says, sorry, I thought I had another piece of information I could help with, but
That's okay. I appreciate the concern, but there really is no other way past this. We must grind those souls. I have to be there at the top, otherwise Vubin will take them all for himself. And I'm sorry, but Hermund will be forfeit, and his people will be coming to a beacon of a beach of death.
okay. Real extends her hand out, as in like, you know, like an agreement shake, and lets him know. Then let this be a truce between us to help each other as much as possible.
You would
And
help
let's
me.
not, to the best of my ability, but let's not get too crazy.
We're already past the point of crazy.
Well, it's not too crazy yet.
Wow. Real's really not phased by all of this, huh?
Real's trying to persuade, damn it. I'm doing all the talking.
It does not persuade him. He knows he is in over his head. You being like, yeah, this isn't crazy, is to him going, wow, she's really seen a lot.
So is Fish. Fish is struggling.
She's flopping, you could say.
I'm willing
can I
to help,
oh sorry.
and I'm willing to have a truce, but know that when it comes to it, I will do anything I can to make sure my daughter gets her body back, and that I can free myself of this mask.
As he's telling me that, can I assume, or Snickers, Zethel, have you finished reading? Above table, have you guys finished reading? And
Yeah.
are you in the convo?
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, you want help? Okay.
Real going, please, convince him for me.
Like,
I got
think-
us truth.
I think that's fair. Yeah. That as a Snickers, like, okay, as we agree not to get in each other's way unless needed. Like unless we can't avoid it.
If that
That's
is
the
what
deal.
must be.
I think that's the best we're gonna get. And then you'll help us if you can.
What do you require help with?
Can you heal?
That's better. Oh my
There are but 9 hours before the tower finishes.
So that's a no.
There is at least enough ample time that, should you need heals and restorations, now would be the time to imbibe yourself on them. I do not have them for you, but this area is safe. You can rest here.
All right, guys, let's go to town.
Oh my god.
I'm kidding.
Okay.
Guys, there's more plot
okay.
lines we can go get. Let's go open those ones.
Yeah, I agree.
We're
Okay.
already fumbling with these ones. Let's go to another.
Anyways,
Tools, clear history.
so as Clark told that Snickers, throughout this whole conversation, clearly I've been telling Clark that I know his story. Was Genoa right next to him?
No.
Was she off?
She was off. She was in a different place, yes.
Oh, good.
Can you imagine her like bunny, wide-eyed, gasp, like looking at her? Just bunny gasping.
Especially as he's saying, do not tell Genoa I am about to murder an entire planet of people.
I don't have to tell her. You
I'm
just
sorry.
did.
I was like, I just hope she's not in earshot.
And she's in earshot. She's like,
That's
Kark.
all it was.
And he's like, whoops.
You did not hear that.
You did not hear that.
Right.
He looks to you, though, and says, please, for now, before we make any plans, we should at least make sure we can get up there, correct?
I gave him one canister, so
Oh, okay.
I'm assuming he put it in.
Yes, I'll
No.
put that canister in.
Oh,
You guys have access to
it.
all the canisters.
So he put it.
we almost
Okay.
do. There's that one.
No, that
is
one
still-
that one has been brought in. You have access to
really?
all of them.
Okay.
Yeah. Bitch, I didn't give him that one.
You just.
Cade,
Brought it down.
Can we please just get this moving?
the amount of times you guys have actively been like, I have all the pieces of this puzzle and I refuse to let you use them.
Yeah.
I'm taking mine back.
Fine, yeah, sure. Rill's holding on to the final one.
I'm getting it out.
Even as you guys were
Christ.
saying, I refuse to do this because we don't have the other one. Terry needs to bring it. And I'm like, okay, I'll let Terry bring it. And you're still like, nope. Keeping these
Not
others.
good enough.
Not good enough.
Jesus Christ.
We refuse to do this until Terry gives us our reward.
Which he never promised you. He said bodyguard him, and you let him go and get broken in half on his own dungeon.
Yeah,
That he soloed.
I feel really bad.
Terry rolls back in. Here's 11
Anyways,
gold.
while you guys are
Here's 11.
arguing,
Can I take it from Kate? Kate, can
I was
grab
gonna
you?
get it. Jesus
okay.
Christ.
You have access to them all. Just do it.
Yeah, God, I'm giving it to Kark again. Oh my God.
Why are you saying, oh my god, when we were trying to do it and you said, no, I still have it.
No, wait.
I gave
No,
him
no,
one. I needed to get the other, did I not? Oh my
No.
God.
You could just be
I
like,
think-
I gave him to him.
I think I have most of, or I think that, this is most of the puzzle. I'm figuring out some parts still.
Now I can't move my screen. Oh no.
Oh no.
Is it by color of fluid, or is it by eyeballs?
Heart will go away.
Heart will go away.
So you can actually see the puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
I buy eyeballs first.
Like by number? Okay, well, I mean, the color depends. So what? Pink has 1, green has 2, red has 3, and then purple has 0.
Wait, the 2 and a 0. So this one up here. I don't know how to tilt it though.
There's one that we can't move, Zurg.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
which
the
one can you
locked
not
one.
move? Yeah, that one is locked. That's baked into the image.
Okay, so that's like a hint for us.
That is your reference hint, yes.
No, either. I don't know, guys. I've been at it for like an hour.
Yeah,
One
we
for
definitely
me.
went past the whole playlist.
Yeah.
Dr. Mario?
Dun 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 dun. Hold on.
Do you really want to change the atmosphere to Dr. Mario?
No. I
It
don't
would.
know.
We'd probably get it done faster. It's pretty fast-paced music.
Oh, I
It's
like-
fast-paced till you get to game over screen. If you want a game over screen, I can give you a game over screen.
No.
He's bluffing.
How many times have you said that to me?
Please, somebody with a mouse, rotate that one.
Rotate where?
The other way. Thank you. Put it right there. This one. Rotate this one.
Which way?
I got it. I got it. The other way? This way?
Yeah. Keep going. Excellent.
Here?
No!
Where did... Okay, here.
Leave it alone.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Oh, I see what you're doing. Okay. Kind of.
This isn't how you play Dr. Mario, by the way.
Wait, you guys don't
Can
have
we
any
have
repeat pieces, do you? Are you sure?
Oh, no, I don't think so. Can we have a insight check?
Oh, you do have a repeat piece.
Yeah,
You
wait,
have
this one's the
ones.
same.
Yeah. Here, I'm going to change this one for you. I just noticed it while you guys were looking at it.
Yeah, we would have figured it out by now.
You totally would have, but you guys were getting lore instead, so I wasn't looking. As you guys were
Rotate
playing
this one.
around with, oh, I have this piece, but I don't have this piece. I have all these pieces, but I refuse to use this piece.
My God. Guys are so bitter.
Yes, I am bitter because I had you guys did not care about collecting these, and then when it finally came to it and you had them all because I gave them to you, you guys went, but we're not going to use them. Yes, I'm bitter
What's this
about
one?
that.
Excluded in the... Wait, which one? This one?
Yeah.
Where do you,
Two
how
up
do you
top.
want it flipped?
2 top.
Like this?
Oh, that's a 1. Damn it.
What?
No, which one's the one? Pink is the one.
No. The dots, look.
Oh.
Oh no, I dragged the wrong one.
Oh.
There needs to be a 1 here, so maybe it's this one. Yeah.
Figuring it out.
Dun.
Put that here. Put this here.
I hope this works.
Well, that shouldn't be there.
We need a 3 and a 2. This 3 and 2. This one. And 3 and 1. 3 and 1. Is that locked one we can't move?
So that must not be the solution then.
Unless it's 1, 2 here.
Because this is wrong. That's 2-1. This needs to be 2-0.
So it's this one. And then 2, 2. Is this one.
This still creates the same problem we had before.
Wait, hang on. Take them out.
Yeah. Put that one. Oops.
Okay, hear me out. Let's do this for tiles that we know for sure where they go first, right?
Mhm.
So this, oh god.
What if we do horizontal
Oh,
1, 2?
Yeah, that's what I
So
was thinking.
this has to be this one.
2, 0. Do we have
Let's
a
just
1,
move
2?
from there.
A
This
3,
one.
2?
And this one is 1, 2. So it has to go here.
What about a 3, 2?
Or the 1-2
right
could
here.
go here.
That, oh.
So hold on.
Wait, no, leave that one there.
Okay.
Do we have a
3-3.
3-3?
3-3 is right here. It won't line up for me.
Yeah, you have to line it up yourself.
Oh. I was.
Oh.
Whatever.
One blank?
I try and make it as much like a video game as I can, but I don't have that much on mark for you.
This still creates a problem. So this configuration isn't ready.
Hang on. What's
And
this?
it'd be just horizontal. 2, 0.
What if it's... What if we put our 1-1 down here? Move this out the way?
Move which one?
This one? I'm moving it. Hang on.
Yeah, maybe those ones don't need to go on this side. Maybe it's just all horizontal. And those are trick ones.
So then this one here?
So that still creates a 2-0 over here, which we don't have.
Then we gotta move the rest.
No, okay, here we go. Here,
Which
like
is-
this
which is-
maybe, and then
Okay.
like this, and then
3-2. The 3-2 is fucking us over.
And okay, give me this. You guys are stressing. All right.
What if we can do diagonals?
Start completely. Stop it. All right.
Okay.
Start completely
Stop
over.
it.
All right. So this one is locked. So this one has to be right.
Mhm.
So let's only pay attention to things that we know for sure we can do. So like we have a 3-3, and the only place that there's 2 3s next to each other is here. So we know for a fact that this one is right. We can't
Can we
put
flip
this...
it
What?
so that the
Oh yeah, sure. Now what?
damn it didn't work.
Did that
But
do
okay.
anything? Like what?
All
All right.
Now flip it.
Obviously, we can't put this horizontal, so it has to go up and down, and this is a 2-0. So this goes here.
Okay.
All right. So we have a
Okay.
2-2. There's only one place where the 2s are next to each other. Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay, so let's put the 2s there. Cool. All right. Let's just keep it going.
Let's just keep it going.
3-0. There's only one place where there's a 3 and a 0 next to each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's put it there. You want me to do the rest?
Yeah, just go for it.
Oh, I'm rotating the wrong one.
We were close.
We did it.
Let me double check your work.
This doesn't match up at all. I hate it. It's not horrible. It doesn't.
This doesn't match up at all. I hate it.
Yeah, it doesn't even make the S from middle school.
Oh my.
I know that's what I was trying to do before, but we didn't have enough space.
Yeah, unfortunately, didn't have enough space for that.
I
Sucks,
don't have
man.
enough lines either.
I don't think you do. Yeah. Here.
Here, just show us the picture of the solution, and we'll check our own work.
Oh yeah, will ya?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, for sure, for sure.
Is this why you were practicing like puzzles the other time? It was all for this.
Yeah, I knew ahead of time he was gonna do this, so I've been practicing for puzzles.
So you've been practicing.
Yeah. Specifically, I went back to first grade puzzles, and I was like, man, I think this is what he's gonna do.
I think he's insulting us.
That's
I
okay.
mean-
I don't care.
It's not a hard puzzle.
It's just too many chefs in the
Too
kitchen.
many cooks.
That's
I honestly do
what
think
the puzzle
yeah.
is supposed to sort of be. The puzzle's
Yeah.
supposed to be too many chefs in the kitchen and trying to figure out the rules. Because once you know
We
the
did
rules,
it.
it's easy. And yeah, you have it solved.
We did it. It's incredible.
You're welcome, guys.
This is a Dominosa puzzle.
It was all fish.
It was all fish. But like these are Dominosa puzzles, so the dominoes can only go in very specific places. So it's just a grid of numbers, and in this case, it's the ports plugging into the eyeballs. But you solved it, and you only went through the whole puzzle theme 2.5 times. Then again, you also used most of that time to not solve the puzzle, and instead try and lore bomb people.
Yeah, I am.
We did it
so
for the
com-
viewers.
Yeah.
Really, it was for me. The lore is for Luna.
You're welcome.
The Luna lore.
Thanks.
Um,
Thanks.
With
I hate it.
with that being said, though, the pieces start glowing, and you see the eyeballs within they snap directly looking at whoever put the last piece in,
Ugh,
and they
that's
start
all.
glowing themselves. The iris around them, each glow their individual respective colors. The tubes drain of their fluid, leaving everything hollow before it goes dark, and the entire pillar then lights up. The pillar is now unfettered access. Park comes over, going, "Oh my God, you did it! You solved it! Everything can be. We can go to the top now."
We're
Ruben
geniuses.
starts walking over. Perfect timing. So, it's time we lay down the plan then. We have about 8.5 hours before everything's about to go down, so we have just enough time to rest up beforehand. You three. Would you like a small bounty for helping us out here? You're adventurers, right?
Like, we get paid now?
I can pay you half right now and half upon completion, sure.
Oh my god.
May I ask how much?
What's your rate?
11.
Sure.
12.
I'll give you 12. I'll give you 6 right now and 6 afterwards.
Be specific. Gold.
Platinum.
Actually, platinum.
Platinum? Sure.
I liked emerald.
Don't have emeralds, I'm afraid. Only got
Oh,
platinum
sapphire?
and gold.
Do you have wings?
No. Now then.
Okay.
You want to buy some death sticks?
Yeah. I can see myself going into that in a bit. I was like, wait a second. Now then, would you three like to come up and help us out? We could use some of the assistance.
Yes.
Yeah.
We will gladly accompany you.
Perfect. And with that, he reaches into his
Hat.
jacket.
Oh.
No, into his jacket, and he pulls out a bunch of
A
gold.
hat. Oh.
This sack right here. Go ahead and look through it. He tosses it towards you, and you see, looking inside, that there's 6 for each of you. 6 gold. That is.
Oh, okay. It's just 6 the number.
Yeah, just the number 6. 3 6s for you.
Mm.
A devil comes out.
He's like,
A plot line has been opened up.
but he looks to you and goes, "Is that enough for the first payment?"
Yes.
Perfect. Now then, to go over some issues of the plan. Kark, bring over Genoa. Kark goes, yes, sir, of course. Genoa starts coming over. Let's see if I can do a thing here. Aha, there we go. And with Genoa now sort of brought to the middle, Vubin will look at her and go, "All right, girl. The whole reason I brought you over here is about to finally make do. I need you in those arms of yours to pry open the doors that we come across. There's an altar up there, and that altar is being sealed away, even as it's being constructed. I can't get in, no one else can get in, but those arms of yours, if supplied with enough ether, would be able to make short work of it. You understand?" She looks nervously and back at Kark, who solemnly nods at her before looking back and saying, "Yeah, I can do that." "Perfect. Now you three. There's probably going to be some resistance up there. The puppets have been dealt with, but this place is still teeming with quasit and gargoyles."
Quasi!
There are more gargoyles?
Oh my.
Those in the thrall of the larger gargoyles, yes. Not exactly mountains, as they would like to call them, but shorter hills that should be climbed. We're gonna split up into 2 squads, us 3 and you 3. We'll both travel up the tower. You go your way, we go ours, trying to clear ourselves of as much as we can. You'll distract for us while we sneak inside, pry open the door, and get to the altar. Understood?
Yes.
Great. Love being in an accord with you. Now, we have just over 8 hours before everything happens, so let's take our chance and rest up.
Oh, thank God.
I'd only said this like multiple times,
Finally.
but yes. So,
I'll rest.
these 3 are starting to prepare for their final assault at the top of the tower. Just under 9 hours remain before the tower itself is completed, the beacon lit, and Hermund arrives. What will you 3 do? Whose sides will you choose? And what will be the final echo that echoes out throughout this campaign? We should find out all those answers on the final session of the Silent Echo next time. So thanks so much for playing.
Yeah, we're on like our 3rd final session.
No, this should be the final session. This should be the final session.
Oh, you are a confident man, Zurg. You're a confident man.
I'm confident that this time you guys will definitely beat it before session 15.
Oh boy.
Yeah, guys, this is an 8-session campaign I wrote.
Because I thought you would find one storyline and stick with it.
Oh no, Zurg. Have you not met us?
We can't go up there without Terry.
Oh my God.
Let's go find Terry.
Let's go we have 9 hours.
Let's not rest. Let's go do Terry's entire plot line and then come back.
Oh, yeah, by the way, guys, can we stop by a town? I heard there's a bulletin there.
If you had come here back beforehand, there would have been a bulletin in the center area. But that hunt has been already taken, so that bulletin's no longer here.
Yep.
I'd like to turn back the time.
Oh yeah, sure thing.
I'd like
They
to reveal
haven't-
to the party I'm a time wizard.
Can you go ahead and cast a spell for me?
Uh-huh.
Cool thing.
Give me a minute here.
Give me a minute here.
Pick a card.
Turn back time. The ability just says turn back time to whenever Euro wants.
Yeah.
Magic stone. Thanks, Rill. You throw a rock.
Oh, when he throws pebbles, it's okay, but when I throw pebbles, I almost TPK us.
She has an ability that is called a magic stone. That
Is
is
it
what
him?
Rill does.
Oh, okay. Anyway, Jade, you have to go, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
It is the end of the session. Thank you guys so much for playing. I really appreciate it. I'm going to stop the stream really quickly, but thank you guys so much for coming, and we'll see what happens on the next session.